All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Woo! Fucking baby, let's get grip, target that shit!
Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
And in 3, 2, 1. Oh, these are cool. Wow. What a fucking banger. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 12 of the 10th annual 12th podcast of Christmas. We've done it again. We've made it to the last episode. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois Nation.
I'm Andrew Sorsdahl.
I'm terrified. But I'm also father of Confederation, Sir John A. MacDonald. Mine, it was like...
It was a 1, 2, 3.
I was like, it's not twisting, and then it popped.
They work great. What a great thing. Yeah, I think it's literally resistance until it gives. Yeah, I don't think there's any twist. It's just
That was fucked.
you break like a fuse or something.
That was cool. I hope that looked cool on camera.
It works way better than it was much more impressive than I thought it would be.
Let's pop the other thing we need to pop here.
Well, Andrew, it's your...
It is my pizza party.
It is your fucking pizza party. This is your day.
So I can cry if I want to.
Yeah.
This is the culmination of 10
years of Andrew sweating and toiling
of
trying my hardest
to get pizza.
to get entries into the draw.
Just so if anybody didn't catch up, over the last 10 years, we've been entering the whole point of this podcast.
of the company.
Of the company has been entering names in this pizza draw on last week's episode.
And do we have some fucking pizzas?
We have a winner.
And we definitely had a plan.
And to congratulate Andrew, we've got gold plates, gold confetti, gold champagne,
Champagne showers.
ethnically cleansed confetti poppers. It's everything that we needed. Little anticlimactic. I thought he'd have it open by now.
It's
Fuddling around like a teenager in the back seat of a car with a girl when their breasts are so big the clasp is too tight.
it's not a thing anyone but you can relate to in this group, buddy.
Befuddling.
There we go.
Okay, now don't fuck this up. This is two compressed gas disbursements in one episode.
True.
3, 4. Jesus Christ.
Is it a gas you think that explodes?
Yeah,
those
I think
things?
it said compressed gas.
Oh wow.
Boy, I think it might actually hurt you if you really shot it right at somebody.
Oh, like point blank. Yeah. Man, one time, this is not really related directly, but oh dang.
Did you not shoot it off?
No, I was not going to do that inside. It's going to fucking bust something. What do you think I am?
We shot one
An
on
animal?
the podcast one time. Dallas did it.
Yeah,
actually.
remember?
I do. It was almost a disaster.
But I went to probably in like grade 7 or grade 8. I went to a dance in Hazlet actually, and
Oh yeah.
I think Tara Dewar had an old point and shoot camera, and I remember we were on the D floor, and then I was like jumping up and down, and then right as she jumped by me, she took a picture. And the camera like slammed in my face, and the flash went right off, right fucking in my eye, and I couldn't see out of that eye for 3 days. I thought I was blind.
How is the gold champagne, Francois?
I haven't tried it yet.
Would you please?
It looks nice. It's champagne. It's nice. It's fine.
It doesn't taste very good.
Tastes better with orange juice.
Cheers.
Good. No, I like champagne. Champagne's
Cheers.
fine.
Now,
Cheers.
as a celebration, we have a very special video tribute. A very short and sweet video tribute.
From our new
number one viewer.
Yeah, and it's
Actually,
Our
a
new fan.
old fan.
it's pretty indisputable
It is
at this point.
It is Blue Ridge Mountain. It is fucking Shenandoah River, isn't it?
Indeed.
Um,
So we'll let our fan speak for himself.
Whenever you're.
Congratulations on 10 years. Figured I'd make a video because I'm better than Suede. Thanks for the content, boys.
Cheers to you, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Cheers to you. Would you mind just like maxing out the volume if it's not maxed out, and we'll play it one more time? I just want to make sure everybody can hear that.
Wonderful.
It is a direct call out and an important if you're part of the prehistoric verse.
Just to the right there, Katie, the little right next to the thing that says ing. Yeah, that one.
Apparently.
It's already
Oh, the
handled.
TV might not be maxed.
There's a remote there. Just see if the volume thing pops up. Yeah, just max. Okay, whatever. It's basically max. Just play it one more time, just in case.
Prehistoric Productions. Congratulations on 10 years. Figured I'd make a video because I'm better than Suede. Thanks for the content, boys.
And thank you.
Thank
to
you,
our
Dallas.
number one fan.
Thank you, Dallas Kirkpatrick.
I'm not even going to nitpick the fact that it was vertical and not horizontally filmed.
Yeah,
but,
pretty rough.
Yeah, it
Pretty
could have
rough.
been landscape.
But you
Actually,
know,
on second thought, I hate
also-
the video.
I also love it's like a personal video, and in the bottom right corner it says Puerto Vallarta. It's like you had to. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm on vacation and you guys aren't.
So this is really what it all comes down to.
the pizzas, this is the whole thing. This is the party. If we didn't have,
Andrew got to choose the pizza. He got to pop the champagne. Later, I'm going to be giving him manual relief. We're not sure where. So that's all part of the package.
some parts more anticipated than others.
So we have two pizzas. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about where we got this pizza from?
I thought we should go with a local
Favorite.
favorite. It's around the corner from the podcast. The owner is fucking awesome. The bar itself is great. It's a little place called The Hideout. Their pizza online pizza thing is Solero.
And in store.
And in store. Solero's Pizza. But it's around the corner. It's a good local company. We love supporting them. So thanks for the pizza.
Thank you, Simon. I don't know why Solero Pizza's name is separate. I've never asked him from the Hideout. Maybe just for branding.
We should ask them. I mean, a lot of places I think do that for like their pop-up kitchen, like for their online ordering.
Make a different name. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good name. I like Solero. It's a good pizza name. It's pizza. It's
Very solar. Very makes me think about the sun.
How's the cheese?
Good.
Is it as good as TJ's?
I'm not gonna. The pizzas are good in there.
It's a good pizza. I actually really
pizza.
enjoy this.
I do
good
actually really
Canadian.
enjoy sesame seeds on crust.
On the crust?
It's really nice. It's there's a place in Vancouver called Uncle Fatty's that did it, and I don't know. I think it is a nice dish. It's not like I want it every time, but I do like places that do that shtick.
So to all those, and I mean all of you, you fucking haters, you bastards out there, who said right from the early on, they'll never draw for this pizza party. It's all, they're a bunch of rubes. This is
We had a plan the whole time, and this was it.
This
10
is a
years in.
master plan, and you peons, you utter nothings out there. All of you that watch this program.
You guys thought the piss up would be in the hills.
But
Little
it
did you
was-
know.
It
in
was
this
here
basement.
in the basement. So, Andrew,
Yes.
is it everything? 10 years, a third of your entire life, one in every 3 days. This has been a part of it.
Yeah.
2/7 of every week.
Honestly, it really hasn't fully sunk in, you know?
Actually, I would argue it's about half of the life you remember, 2/3 of the life you even remember.
I have a pretty
Or
good
a third.
memory.
A third.
I have a pretty good memory.
Yeah, but you wouldn't consistently remember 3-4 years old.
I have my earliest memories of probably about 2.5 or 3 years old, yeah. But it's just one memory.
Yeah. Is it everything it shook up to be?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty great. I like the streamers. The tacky gold streamers are really, if it was just a couple of pizzas, but there was no party hats and confetti and streamers, it's just a couple of guys having pizza in the basement. Mm-hmm. What makes it the party is that we got the hats and the streamers. That's what makes it the party.
And we even have off-camera production team members wearing hats. Like it's everybody's
Yeah,
involved. They are
everyone.
not allowed to have any pizza, of course.
No,
Of course not.
Of course not. Not a
This
single
is going
piece.
right to the garbage.
That's
when
an
we're
employee tenure
done. Yeah.
thing. Even if Alex had won, he wouldn't have been actually allowed to eat any pizza.
No, he could have watched
He could have watched us eat the pizza.
through a live stream.
Yeah. He would have gotten to choose the pizzas, but he couldn't have eaten the pizzas.
We have one other little gimmick, Andrew.
Yes, hearkening back to our earlier days of the podcast, where we're going to drink 12 different drinks, shots.
Shots, all shots.
Well, I mean, this counts as one of them. It's a
Well, that's
shot.
one of them. A shot of champagne. So what we did was we went to ChatGPT. We said, come up with 12 Christmas-themed shots. One of them was rum and eggnog. Fuck you, that's not a shot. The other ones, surprisingly,
All pretty, like, I mean, it's mostly just like fairly common shots that they gave a
ridiculous.
Christmas name to, but that's okay. We're going to take it. We're going to run with it. I would say about 50% of our shot menu is cream-based,
Or has a creaminess,
creamy
creamy
liqueur.
element,
So we're-
i.e. a Bailey's.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the non-cream-based element.
So, we're going to start with the non-cream based element. Andrew, I'm going to get you to shake up a shot. And while we're talking about ChatGPT, Francois, I was at a Christmas party last night, Kelsey's work. Got talking to one of her co-workers, significant others about, and the co-worker about how wild Photoshop AI is. Why don't you walk our viewers a little bit through what you view as the current usage and maybe the future of at least still frame AI?
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's interesting because like right what you're talking about is like if you might have seen commercials for Photoshop recently, on like ads on YouTube and stuff, and like right now they have this new auto generative fill thing that you can do. It's super easy to use and it's quite powerful and it's very scary when you get it working well. Where it's like let's say you took a still frame of me like this with the glass, and then I took that picture and I put it into Photoshop, and then I decided I would prefer this to be a marmot that I'm holding in my hand. I could just select it, like go into the image, take a little pen tool, select the area around my hand, and then a little prompt will come up and it'll say generate. And then if you don't type anything in, it'll just try to fill in that gap. Like it'll try to get rid of it or do its best job to interpolate what's around it, and it'll put something in there. But if I typed in marmot with clown shoes, it'll take that space that I've selected, it'll take the glass out of there, and then it'll put a marmot in my hand, probably wearing clown shoes, which is neat. Like it has a lot of applications. I mean, like previously what you would have had to have done if I wanted to achieve that same effect, I would have had to have gone on the internet. I would have to have found a picture of a marmot that works. I would have had to have found a picture of clown shoes that work. I would have had to take the marmot into Photoshop. I would have had to cut the marmot out, cut the shoes out, put the shoes on the marmot, try to mimic the lighting as best I could, try to like replicate my hand around it, like all this work that now you can kind of circumvent. And sometimes the results are quite good. Sometimes they're like, meh. But and the thing is you can generate endlessly. So if it doesn't work the first time, you just keep generating until you get a result. You're like, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I think the applications, especially for quick things, are great. Like I think like for like YouTube thumbnails, great. I think like if you're throwing together a quick poster for your town hall, whatever, it's like now you have access to this. You don't have to be a master in Photoshop to do these images.
You don't even really have to be that competent.
No, not at all, because you just type a thing in and then
honors.
it generates the image.
If you'll have me.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess the ethics of it always for me are just like when there's a work that you want to be. It's like you don't want to hire an artist to create an original piece of work and then find out that they
Just used AI.
used a robot to do it for you. Because then it's like I could have just done that myself. And so that's the part. It's like but right now I don't think it's good enough for you to get fooled, or at least not like, I don't think somebody could like go from zero. Like, I don't, like, let's say you had a blank canvas and you generated your entire image in the blank canvas. I don't think anybody would be fooled right now that it was like or unless you're like, you know nothing about AI, then maybe. But it's like, this stuff is like, is already so good.
Just pour it back in.
And like a year from now, 2 years from now, it's gonna, all the weird little quirks are gonna be.
Well, the one thing I've noticed is like with people, it regularly fucks the faces up.
And hands and
hands
stuff.
and stuff.
But yeah, I think like 2 years development,
Like,
and that's
we're just figuring. We just started this show. Like,
oh yeah, it's like in the last, like AI went from 0 to 1 billion. I want to say the first time I heard about it using like an application being used in a real way was like 2018, and that's like when it was first being used in like a practical sense. And we're already so we're leagues ahead of where I think anybody thought we'd be. And yeah, in 2 years, it's like, I think all these weird little quirks are going to be.
I can't believe that a product works that good out of the gate.
I have mine is right full.
Don't
it's
mix too much.
so much of it is out of human hands.
You don't like how I mix it. You mix it yourself, cocksucker.
Well, fuck.
It's machine learning, so it's like it's all, the only thing that's stopping you is how much material you can feed into it to base its new material out of. So it's like it can't but help improve itself. Like it's trying to replicate whatever you want it to.
The human experience.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Shot number one is a candy cane crush.
Candy cane crush. Cheers.
And
Cheers.
it is.
Peppermint vodka and chocolate liqueur.
Okay, we're gonna go under the assumption that I'm the only one drinking on today's podcast, and these
That's
are
actually
all
quite nice.
falsities.
I would legitimately drink that.
I'm not a fucking huge mint guy.
I would do, like, that's a fun
For a shot.
Yeah, that's a fun shot.
I mean, I'm
I'm
not
not saying I'm
going
gonna
to
pour. I'm not gonna pour a glass and.
I'd much rather do 10 shots of that than 2 shots of Fireball.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So now we have a bunch of melted ice with a little bit of liquor in it that needs to be disposed. There's a bowl right here. Should I just be? Yeah, just dump in the bowl.
So I would say the thing that I am really impressed with the AI Photoshop thing is like the thing you first described. If I want somebody to have blonde hair, or also the coolest thing I've seen, and I mean, I would have gotten to this conclusion myself if I had thought about it, but in the past, I mean, we do video product stuff, but for people who do photo product stuff, instead of having to have the big white expansive sheet of paper and all that stuff, they're literally just putting a cup on a sheet of paper, putting a light over it, and then making the canvas as big as they want, and then generatively filling the whole background so it looks like it's in a great big studio space.
Because it can seamlessly, because the thing that's difficult about that is anytime you take a live picture or video, there are these subtle gradients, and ambient occlusion isn't the word for real life. That's the simulation of this effect. But it's like if you look at the corners of a room, there's these shadows that are like almost indiscernible. But it's like it's the difference between reality and irreality. Like if you went into a 3D program and you took 2 flat walls and you put them together without any additional work, it's just going to appear as a flat color. You need to do work to like replicate the shading and stuff like that and how the light is bouncing off things. And it's extremely hard to simulate that digitally. So like even when you're watching like multi-million-dollar high-budget movies, like the shading and the stuff that usually looks the most unrealistic is that. It's like texture work, it's shading. It's like that's what's kind of giving away that there's something not quite right.
Those subtle things that are a giveaway.
But what's super cool and terrifying about like this AI generated stuff is because it's using reality as its library to base its own generated images off of. It can replicate that type of shading perfectly, so that you can't. The things that give away AI is like a finger that shouldn't be there or a leg that's whatever. It's like those things, but it's not like the shading or the way the skin looks. Like that stuff all looks perfect. But yeah, with that example you gave, even that, like if you had a cup on a piece of paper and then you thought like, oh, I'm going to bring it into Photoshop and I'm going to expand this background. Like it's a lot harder to do that than you'd think. Like usually what you do is you cut the glass out and then you just replace the entire background. But trying to extend the background is difficult because of those subtle degradation or subtle changes in lighting. But with this Photoshop AI, it can replicate that gradient perfectly and then extend the background as far as you want, which is really cool. The one application I thought of that I've done many times in videos is if we've got lots of time in post-production when we're editing a video, I'll try to clean up background elements. So like let's say there's an outlet, like a power outlet on the wall that I'm like, I don't like the look of that. I'll go in and I'll manually clean that up. Like I'll get rid of it and then I gotta like track the shot and do all this stuff so that you don't see that outlet anymore, so the shot looks a little bit nicer. But before, like there was always like generative stuff in Photoshop where you could like select the outlet, get rid of it, and it would do a pretty good job, or at least to the layman, like you'd never notice. But now with this AI generative stuff, it looks perfect. Like the wall looks like the texture of the wall's matched, the lighting is matched, the grain is matched. So now that type of work where it's like I'm trying to get rid of an outlet on the wall or
that's the thing I'm wondering,
whatever.
especially with just talking generative fill. It is not going to be long until Photoshop or Adobe Premiere has got that, or After Effects.
It already technically does. It's super slow and it just doesn't work great right now. But yeah, I think in a year or two they'll have them. Essentially all that'll happen is in the back you'll say like I want this outlet removed and you'll select it, and then it will just it'll do the tracking. It'll open Photoshop in the background. It'll do all the generation, all that stuff without you. Like it'll say like wait 15 minutes and then you'll come back and your outlet will be gone. Yeah, definitely.
It's scary. It's cool. We definitely want to stay on top of that kind of technology. I think that's obviously very important. I think that the people who are going to be hurt the most by this are stick in the mud. People are like, that's not art, and get rid of the AI. It's like, sorry, cat's out of the bag. Like, either get on board or get the fuck out.
Yeah, it becomes so much more important to go back to the fundamentals of like storytelling. It's like, because like the fact that there's a new tool shouldn't, like, if you are trying to rail against it's the same thing as a guy with a scythe saying that no, combine's unnecessary. It's like, buddy, it's way better. Like it does the job better. You are superfluous. Now we don't need 100 guys with scythes. We need a combine to do way more work.
This is funny. So I watched this farming podcast, and these guys that live down in this like Midwest US, and they were talking about how they had this farmer when they were quite young. So this guy's probably like in his 50s, and when he was like 10 years old, there was like a 60-year-old farmer. Mm-hmm. And so like this kid grew up like, you know, like into the 50s and 60s, and he's like had this farmer neighbor, and he was still using horse-drawn plow, and like everyone was well into early tractors. And the neighbor's like, nope, it's a fad. Tractors are fad. Like whatever, it's been going on 20 years now, but it's gonna end. And he used horse-drawn plows right up until he retired and sold his farm. He's an old bachelor. Still on his deathbed, he's like, you mark my fucking words. Tractors are a fad. It's not, and like
it will never take off.
It's not going to take off. Like literally,
it sounds a little bit like I guess sort of different in that some people argue that film has actually recording on film has some kind of a. Why don't you pour this one? Has a special.
Why do I have to pour? It's your big day.
Well, that's exactly why you should.
But you're a hopeless romantic.
No, not true.
Andrew can sing all the words to "Great Day to Be Alive."
That does. If that's the metric for being a hopeless romantic, then color me a romantic, I suppose. But yeah, it's a little bit like people who are insisting that film is like still it's the most peak art.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's the Christopher Nolans, the Tarantinos, etc.
It's a vinyl thing. It's like there's nothing. It's not like that. There's nothing to it. Like some people, they want their medium. Like there's an organic quality, and like it's not. I don't think it's something to be thrown out completely. Like there is something to the organic quality of film or vinyl or any of these things that it's a medium that degrades over time, and the sound is slightly different every time,
and it changes.
Yeah, I think there is something to that, and I think there's something really human to that idea. But the problem comes in when you say that it's the only legitimate form of doing this thing. And all like that's where you lose me, where it's like, I get if you enjoy this thing and you have a preference for how it sounds or how it looks or the qualities of whatever. But the second that you're like, and that makes the way that you did it now an illegitimate form of storytelling or because
subpar.
Yeah, it's like because you can't afford to get your music pressed on vinyl. It's like, are you even like, really, man? It's and that's the thing is like you're completely ignoring the benefits of digital, which is like endlessly perfectly replicatable images or music, which is like the product you get is the product that person's going to be listening to is the product that person's going to be listening to because it's all ones and zeros and it's duplicatable exactly, which is a huge plus if you want consistency in your artwork and you want it to be seen in a particular manner. I don't know. And it's
perfect.
That's the thing, and it's same with the AI thing. It's like there's people who are going to go too overboard with this, and they're going to use it for applications that they shouldn't be using it in, where it's like this kind of needs that human touch. And then there's people who are going to go all the way the other side and say, never ever use this tool. This isn't art anymore. And it's like, both of you are wrong. It's like there is a middle ground here where it's like some things, yes, do require, it needs that human emotion or else it loses all meaning. But it's like, why the fuck wouldn't you use this in all these
Getting
places?
rid of that plug is not.
Well, it's also just
art.
like it's more than anything. Like the big application in my mind is jump starting your ability to cut your work in half, and like it's like tedious shit that you don't. There's no reason that a person, for example, a human needs to go in and spend hours and hours and hours individually tracking something.
No, yeah,
and whatever. Like if a machine can do it, it's like
that's how they win.
It's
Cheers.
like our this is a Santa's sipper is what it's called.
Well, it's like that's the thing. It's like
all of our teachers saying, "Oh, you like."
What's this one?
What is this under?
Vodka triple sec cranberry, not very good.
Oh yeah, that's not a. That combination.
I wonder.
Does not go together.
I wonder if that's
stinks.
I wonder if that's more of a Santa stinky ass.
The problem is AI can't drink drinks and know that they taste like shit.
Well, one day.
Yeah. Well.
That completely cuts the vodka though.
It's like
if you didn't tell me there's vodka in there, I'd be like, I have no idea what the liquor was.
Please insert vodka. It's like, please insert more vodka. It's like, I don't know.
I like vodka.
The computer put another fucking model.
Somehow the robot shits itself and passes out.
Oh fuck.
It's like, oh, I got the alcoholic one.
Do you believe that in our 10-year career is AI the biggest leap you've seen?
It depends on what you mean. Like AI in my life is in the details. Like that's where I'm going to be using it. It's in when I want to replace a outlet on a wall. So it's like it's in very specific use cases. But like other than that, like it's going to streamline a lot of the work I already do.
I guess what I'm saying is, for me, it's probably the biggest.
I think societally.
No, but I mean, even from this, it's not even that how much I'm going to use it and stuff. But for me, it's the biggest leap from we have none and we are now it's a thing that works.
Yeah.
Like
it's like the internet or smartphones. Yeah. There was we lived in the internet was at least a bit gradual, but smartphones were wild because it was like literally in the year 2006 we didn't have them, and then the year 2007 everyone had them, and now we are cyborgs now. It's like it is hands down. We are all, without it being physically inserted in our bodies. All of us are,
and
constantly,
I've tried.
Yeah. Well, you could probably I think stuff you can. I saw a guy.
No, I'm talking
in
like rectally.
For
you're assuming lots. He's saying.
No, I haven't assumed anything. I'm asking questions.
This is a pleasure bot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Awesome. It wasn't a pleasure model.
Like it wasn't in a bid to be one with the machine, or it kind of one with the machine, but like less in a transhumanist way, more in a fuck me in the ass
erotic
way. Yeah.
Right. So erotic.
Right.
I would call it erratically erotic.
Yeah. Like if you could.
Which is a term I've just coined. Please don't use that.
TM.
Erratic eroticism.
I will say that, kind of transitioning a little bit, the biggest Of all
What is the
thi-
biggest thing you've had in your ass?
the biggest, most impressive thing I've seen ever from filmmaking that we've had access to is the goddamn Ronin S3. I am so in love with this piece of equipment.
See, that's interesting because like what you asked me what I was going on there about like with the usage of AI in my life. See, like that thing to me in my day to day is much more
yeah, valuable.
prevalent.
Yeah, like if I had to pick, I'd pick the Ronin S3.
I don't know. Well, yeah, okay. It depends on what you consider AI. Like if you consider because AI has it's existed since the beginning of the internet. Like say like machine learning is not a new thing.
No.
Like all the softwares that we use right now, like Adobe, they've used machine learning to train them and to figure out what since like basically
I'm
their-
talking this
their
exact
inception.
iteration.
But yeah, you're saying like the AI that now is like it's very front facing. It's not like behind the scenes.
No,
it's
it's
like
I
holy
am
fuck,
AI. I am
They're
AI.
using it to
Make a marmot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've made a marmot.
Marmot maker, not
Marmot makers. Now that you can make marmots, it's
like-
scary.
All the videos are now on friends. I'm just like all these fucked up people like marmots for arms.
Oh
like,
fuck,
Why,
we don't have
they're-
lime.
why can't
We
I?
don't
Why
have
wouldn't
lime
I?
juice. We need lime juice for
Kelsey,
this one.
can you get us some lime juice, dear?
Or lemon if you have whatever.
No,
you
we have lime juice.
I
yeah, it's
apologize.
like
That was my bad. I missed
people
that.
like playing marmot drums with marmot drumsticks and like playing marmots.
It's like, why do you interject marmots and everything?
It's like a marmot with
what am I
marmot
supposed to do?
drumsticks playing
What am
a
I supposed to do?
marmot drum.
Not use AI?
I'm gonna
is
tell-
that what you want me to do?
This is
Not
the mo-
use AI? But it's like I only ever use it to keep generating marmots.
This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever said. If you took Agumon from Digimon,
Oh baby, now you're speaking my fucking
if
language.
you took Agumon from Digimon,
I've never gotten so fired up so fast.
Dobby, the house elf from Harry Potter,
Okay,
and a marmot,
'Kay.
I couldn't tell you which one was the marmot.
that's so easy. Two of them are hairless, and a marmot is a mammal with
I
hair.
don't. I'm so unfamiliar with what a marmot is.
You couldn't have
I
If you
also-
chosen.
line those three things up, I couldn't tell you which. Was the
But
marmot.
you know it's a fucking a mammal. Like you know, like you know rough. Like the thing is, had you chosen almost anything else, but you chose two hairless things
No,
that you already know what they look like.
This stems from an old joke.
Yes, just throw it.
And when
Agumon,
when
Dobby the house elf.
when people tell me, especially back home in the small town, where people say, "Do you know that guy?" Who I obviously know who he is,
I see.
and then I say, "No, honestly, if you put my mother
Oh,
and that person
yes,
in a
okay, I
lineup,
gotcha.
I would have no idea which one was the person."
See, this is wild because like the Agumon Dobby thing, it's such a deep cut that anyone watching other than like me and Andrew or like a few, because who the fuck know? Like 80% of the people that are watching this, and there's not. That's Swade, just Swade. He doesn't know what Agumon is.
He might.
Well, I
Digimon,
think he would know
digital
in his
monsters.
I think he would know in like if he looked it up, he'd be like, "Oh, I recognize that character." But if I gave him if I sat him down right now, put 10 Digimon in front of him and say, "Pick out Agumon," I don't know if he'd be able to pick out
Yeah, if
Agumon.
you just put him in that group, he would know which one was the Agumon.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd know which one was the Agumon, but
This one might be a little bit rough also, so I thought we should get it out of the way.
it's like
How
you're
many are we in here?
Oh, we're a couple.
3. This is number 3, right? Well, no, not including
Peppermint
4 with a champagne.
and with a champagne. Is it
Yeah,
with
done-
the champagne for.
2 shots in the champagne. This will be number 4.
peppermint? What was the second one?
The awful tasting one.
And what was the third?
Santa's
They won after
Sipper.
that one?
Champagne. No, champagne was
First.
one of the shots.
Yeah, I'm saying we've done 3, right?
Yeah, this is
This is number
I'm
4.
saying.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
Just a little
said
paper
like a
in there.
fucking Sharpie.
Could you?
What, the shot glass?
So I think we're gonna be, from what I can tell, we're gonna be doing a lot more marmot-based content.
So
Marmots
if
will
you're
be
a Marmot
making a-
fan,
They'll be making a bit of an appearance. I think
2020.
marmots are like a Weasley type animal, I believe, if I think correctly.
What about a nug hoppy?
A nughoppy?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an ii. I think in English is what they're called. Is their. I saw a fucking cute ass. God, I wish I could. I'm actually gonna let you guys watch it. Maybe I'll put it in the podcast. But fuck, is it funny? It's a little. It's a mother nughoppy with its baby, but the baby is like quite big. And the way these things fucking yeet their babies is.
What do you mean yeet them?
Well, watch. Like, I can't think of a better word for it. They don't throw them, but they, like, okay, so this is a mother nughoppy with the baby in its mouth. and it's like quite a large baby, almost the same
Yeah,
size.
like
as it.
almost.
What the fuck?
She jumped with the baby.
Yeah, and like
Far.
a long ways, and the baby's just like, okay, and then we got to get the other one in the mouth, and they curl up like a bag
Jesus.
when she's carrying them.
They jump so far.
It's so aggressive, like so high up, and they're just
They're fucking cute.
they're so cute.
This is
Yeah, I saw that, I'm like,
mistletoe.
Okay,
something.
so when you guys have time, can they just type in bush baby?
I don't know. It was like
Type in
it's like,
Nahapi.
it's like one of those. Type in Nahapi.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Instagram video. I'll download the video. I'll put it in this thing so you guys can see it as well. But yeah,
it's
wild.
They're called nachapis.
yes, that's the Afrikaans term for.
They're like
I think they're eyes.
They're a little fucking floating squirrel guy.
They're very sweet,
Kind of like a marsupial and a
Okay, what
squirrel
is
had
this
a
fucking
baby.
thing?
and they squeak.
Mistletoe martini, but shot version.
What is it?
It's that blackberry, raspberry gin, a little bit of vodka, and lime juice.
Doesn't smell very good. Looks cloudy.
Well, the thing is, it's shaken over ice. It's also like all the little dregs of everything else we've been drinking get into the next thing. So
The spirit of the season. Christmas.
Cheers.
Christmas. Crimbus.
it's very lime forward.
Very live for it.
Oh my God.
Much lime in that.
Ah,
Quarter ounce
it's just lime.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the booze?
gin and vodka.
Blackberry or strawberry and blueberry gin or I don't know.
Oh God, what a shit.
Dang, what
You
a-
better
But
mix
the
these
last-
next ones.
The
I'm
last
doing a
no, I
shit
don't think it's
job.
got anything to do with the mixing.
I don't think it
Didn't
has
you guys say
anything
the
to
AI generated these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to do with the machine has no idea what the fucking tastes
we're
are.
substituting a bunch of stuff too.
Not a bunch. A few
The ones we've had have been
items.
all
Like, I'm not going
ones.
to get fucking elderflower
Like-
liqueur.
The last two, this
Well,
one
I
and the
agree.
last
I'm not-
one, the ingredients just didn't go together at all.
And what I want to tell people out there is, I'm a pina colada lover from way back, but there is a old new drink on the scene that you do not want to miss out on.
Old new drink, did you
It's
say?
called Sanka.
It's called a Chi-Chi. And the Chi-Chi is a pina colada, not blended, except instead shaken over ice, but it's vodka replacing the rum in a pina colada. If you remember the South Park episode where Butters goes back to Hawaii, that's what they keep serving him is the Chi-Chi.
Oh, I see.
Drink of the Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
It's the native drink.
The native Hawaiians,
The native
yeah.
Hawaiians, yeah.
And they need more vodka for their Chi-Chis. Anyway, Chi-Chis are goddamn delicious.
What's in it? Sorry.
It is cream
I
of
don't know if I've ever
coconut.
had a Chi-Chi.
Should I just leave
Are we
the ice
having a
in here?
Chi-Chi today? Is that
No.
what we're bringing
We're
up?
gonna have what we should. That's what we'll do. We'll do our next is our rum based thing.
Yes.
Sorry, can you with the ingredients?
So there's a product called cream of coconut, and it's not coconut cream. It is called cream of coconut.
Okay. Does it taste meaningfully different?
Yes, and it comes in like a squeeze bottle, so it's like a produced substance. It's not like a natural. ingredient.
Oh, I see.
It's like coconut syrup kind of.
Yeah, it's like
artificially
cream of coconut
generated.
mixed with like fucking sugar, basically.
Oh, okay.
And it comes in like a syrup. Like it looks very much like
Not artificial, but it's a, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, it's a processed product. Pineapple juice and vodka, and then you shake it over ice. But the cream of coconut gets like really frothy.
Okay.
And when you shake it, it gets like kind of a little bit thick, and it's like sweet. And I mean, vodka is
I love vodka.
it's vodka.
Vodka's my favorite liquor. Oh, no, sorry. Irish whiskey, then I'll say vodka.
What I like about vodka
I love a good
is
vodka.
alcoholics love
Let me
vodka.
make this one.
You can't barely no.
Yes.
You're on a roll, man.
No, it's your turn. It's your turn.
What am I supposed to say? No, Andrew.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Don't.
It's
You don't.
dark rum, grenadine, and orange juice.
You didn't get me the grenadine.
Nope, so
You
you're gonna
didn't
start
get me
with
the
that. You
orange
need one
juice.
thing at a
You didn't
time.
get me the shaker. You didn't get me the ice. I don't
I
have
did.
the strainer.
Shaker and ice right there.
Yeah, now we're getting movement.
Start with the rum. I'm not sure if you're aware, but usually you do things one at a time.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Grenadine, spite, dark rum,
Okay.
and what?
Cat's out of the bag. They are going to fight at the end.
Okay.
Physically.
That is something that has been 10 years in the making. Is Brad and I fist fighting?
They're
What
gonna-
is the second fucking ingredient?
They're both going to get like
Grenadine?
fucking.
Yes, and the third one. You're
is-
gaslighting me.
Rum or is orange juice?
Okay, so I need to use quite a bit of rum then.
I've been doing an ounce of each. Is kind of what I've been doing.
Just like Randy and Trailer Park Boys, if you've ever seen that program, and what he does when he fights, these two are going to do the same thing, and they're going to square up, and they're going to stand on that table until it buckles.
What? I thought this was America. I thought this was
That
America.
fight will be very short.
No,
would be a short
that's not
fight.
the end. That's the beginning.
Oh,
So you both square up, you stand on either side of the table. When the table buckles, that's the starting gun. And then we go, baby.
So immediately
and if you
the gun.
if you step outside this carpet, loss.
so it's like a sumo.
So both of you need to get on the ground to increase your surface area so that you don't actually step out of the carpet, and then you wrestle.
I don't think surface area is my problem, but
And then I'm using that, whatever's in there, I'm pouring all the liquid we got in this basement on both of you. Every ounce. And then on myself. And then I'll sit naked, cross-legged, looking at the camera while they wrestle behind me.
that made me think pouring all the liquid on us. Made me think of a funny story from we were getting supplies for the Radiant video.
I was?
Like Brad and I were. We had to go
Oh, yeah.
get corn syrup, so we went to Bulk Barn.
Yeah.
And we got multiple these big containers full of corn syrup. And I'm sitting there. We have this guy's bringing it in. It's like corn syrup, like 6 things of corn syrup. And this weird guy is giving me this look. And Brad goes and leaves. And as Brad leaves, I turn to the guy at the counter. I said, "We're gonna go home and get all sticky." And then he gives me this look that's like, I don't care and I don't want to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, but we look like we pound each other's guts out.
I would give you guys my email address and demand a link to whatever you got going on.
Yeah, well, most people would.
Because before that,
How do you think we keep this company afloat, Francois?
if I was that guy at that till, it's like before then I could have been the straightest, most conservative Christian individual. And if you said that to me, it's like whatever you just said is my new sexual orientation. That's what I'm doing from now on, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I think what's important.
I'm not going home for Christmas. I'm watching these guys do stuff. That's what I'm doing.
It's
What's
like
this
watch
one now?
Michael Moore and Rush.
This
Limbaugh
is
go
Reindeer
at it.
Rum Punch.
Did it name? Did it? Oh,
Named them.
it's the rum. I have a sense. Rum's not my fave, so it's
I don't like dark rum. And this
got
is
nothing
dark.
to do against the drink necessarily.
It's got a fuck ton of grenadine in it, so it's not
Starting
gonna
to feel the
taste much.
tummy
Yeah, well,
rot.
we're all gonna have a bit of a rot. Cheers to
Cheers.
Reindeer Rum Punch. Not great, not terrible.
Oh, I don't.
I don't love that.
I think it would be better with not
If-
dark rum.
If this had been the first shot we did, I think it would
Yeah,
have been
white
fine.
rum would have been way better with that. Thanks, ChatGPT.
Tastes like it's
This was better than the last two.
It's the gingerbread aftertaste that's
This,
the problem.
this at least tasted cohesive.
Also, I
Like the ingredients felt.
fucking drunk now.
Oh, are you kidding me? We've all had multiple ounces of liquor. Of course, we're all drunk.
I'm very glad I had a sub before this.
I might need another piece of that Canadian pizza, please.
So, do you want some cheese?
Not right now. No, I don't know.
Cheese on
I
his
don't.
tummy.
I was gonna say I'm
Oh yeah, right. You're
pretty
lactose intolerant,
lactose intolerant now.
so that doesn't really help a lot.
And we're going to be moving on to the cream-based.
That was
Yeah,
the
I
last
might-
non-cream
might-
one?
No, soon.
I might just get you guys to make me non-cream. I might just take straight shots of vodka after that or something.
I don't think I don't actually. Bailey's doesn't actually have any dairy in it. I think it's actually a dairy-free product. They just look creamy. Creamy.
If it doesn't have lactose, then that's fine.
It's lactoseless.
No, then that's fine.
I want to talk a little bit about. Just noticing it now. For those of you who don't know, the Canadian
next one.
television show. No, you have to at least tell me what it is. This is your party. You need to take command.
Okay, I thought the
your
party was.
You can cry if you
I thought
want
the whole thing was
to.
like, it's party in my honor, not.
No, this is a party like you're the admiral.
I'm
of the
running.
ship.
It's
Oh.
your party. You're at all the
I see.
implications that your party could have.
Even if they're conflicting, they're all gotcha.
For those of you who are unaware and did not watch YTV in the early 2000s, there was a Canadian-produced television show called Reboot. I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast before,
Just no way we have
Called what?
Reboot.
Oh, love Reboot.
I think we have talked about it on the podcast, so I just want to touch base on it quickly and say there is an amazing, probably 30 to 40 minute little short doc on the production of Reboot, Canadian produced program, first feature length, fully animated television show.
One of my professors was a director on that show and Beast Wars.
That is cool, and I can't believe I'm only just finding out about this.
You should have seen my face when because he said it fully
Expecting
thinking no one would know.
What should we do for
And
number
I was
8
like,
here?
you are, it's you, or you and your team, Peter Jackson,
Jesus.
whoever, like Bungie, the company, Jesus Christ, probably.
Drink maybe
it's like,
not?
you don't understand. Like, whoever made Gargoyles, like, I don't know, there's a few shows, but.
God, I forgot how stupid some of these are.
The one's like more of a drink. All the other ones we can do is a shot. That one is like a drink.
There's one show that we never mention and needs to be mentioned, and because you know how Reboot was like kind of like people like nobody talks about Reboot, but it's like this incredible show that's really well written and has like incredible it's actually a fucking amazing show with like really well written characters and great season long arcs and like there's a build of all the seasons and it's like Beast Wars too, like Beast Wars, like without kidding, like if you watch like Gen 1 80s Transformers, it's like not great. It's like it's a show that was made to sell toys and the stories don't really make sense and it's all like story of the week. It's fine, it's fun, whatever. It's like your average cartoon. Beast Wars, however, and Reboot, which came out in like the early millennium, I don't know who the fuck the writing team was on that shit, but it was also a show made to sell toys, but they just wrote the shit out of them.
Well,
and it's like
that's what I think the biggest testament to Reboot is.
The other.
You must have your own flute, my friend.
No, mine was right here.
Well, what the hell would I have done with it?
I don't know.
Oh, Andrew, you must have it somewhere.
No, mine was right here. That was my flute right there. What did you do with yours?
No, I grabbed mine from down here, my friend.
No, you didn't. You
I
roll
would,
back the footage.
if I have it, that would be a trick and a
I
half.
have it here somewhere. What my biggest testament to Reboot is that they didn't just get away with making this completely new animation thing, and they built the entire system of how to even make it, and then they also did good storytelling, which they probably didn't need to do. They probably could have sold toys and done shit.
It's not like now, man, when I see CGI shows, I didn't even really have a lot of patience for it in like 2012.
Is it like behind the pizza box?
There's another show that I've brought up many times.
No.
oh, fuck. Okay, keep going.
There's a few examples of shows that came out in the early millennium, like in the millennium, that had CGI in them, like three-dimensional CGI. This is wild. That I think were like exemplary in terms of the quality of like many aspects. And so Reboot, Beast Wars, the show that I want to bring up that was made by the same production team that nobody ever fucking mentions ever, that was also gorgeous. And I need to start saying it so that it doesn't get forgotten forever. It's called Shadow Raiders. It only had like a season or two. It didn't nearly have the backing or like the popularity or longevity of a Reboot and Beast Wars, but it's also great. It's that same animation style, same team. It's like purely a sci-fi thing. Shadow Raiders. We can't forget Shadow Raiders in the discussion of these things. Anyways, back to the CGI.
Is Shadow Raiders older than Reboot?
No, I would have been around the same time. It's probably Reboot was. I think Reboot was the first one of those shows.
Because is Reboot made by Mainframe Studios? Is that what they're called?
I don't quote me on that one. I'm not sure. That doesn't sound right to me, but maybe.
Because it's sounding right to me.
Okay, it might be. I don't know why.
It's definitely sounding right to me.
Because I feel like I don't know why in my head I'm not recognizing. I can't picture the logo right now, which is you might tell. But
I think put quite a bit of cranberry juice and then just top it with some club soda.
So yeah, those three shows, which I think
Right there, yeah.
are still the peak of like 3D CGI storytelling in television, like just great. And another one that I am in love with that I'll bring up any chance I can is Zoid's New Century Zero. That's that show, specifically that version of the show, New Century Zero, is only one season. Really phenomenal in terms of the writing, but also phenomenal in terms of the CGI. And one thing that I think is so difficult, or I don't know how difficult it is, but it's like these shows did it so well, was getting a sense of weight and like, I don't know, realism and like aesthetic beauty behind the way it's like, you know, in 2D animation, they call it like stretch and squash. Like if you ever watch like Wile E. Coyote or Looney Tunes or Disney, and you see the characters like, I don't know, throw a ball or whatever. There's what they call keyframes, which is like the beginning frame, which is like the guy's winding up, and then there's the end frame where the guy's throwing the ball. But between those frames are all these what do they call them? There's a word for the in between frames. I can't remember the technical term. But you'll notice that they exaggerate like eye size and the way the hand, because they need to simulate like motion blur, and they need to simulate. So what they do is the finger will look like it's way long in a single frame, but when you see it in motion, it's like, oh, it looks gorgeous, because you're compensating for all those things that you can't do in a still image, like the motion blur and the trying to like convey momentum. And I think bad CGI shows and bad cartoons, 2D cartoons, are ones that largely don't account for that stuff. And then you can you're like, something's just a little off. It doesn't feel as engaging. It doesn't feel as dynamic or whatever. And Zoids and those shows, even though they were CGI and they were early CGI, they compensated for that stuff. And that's why I think they're brilliant. And I think like CGI shows that come out today, a lot of them don't do that, and then immediately you're like, it just looks stilted. It looks janky. Something
You
doesn't
can
look right.
watch a lot of Reboot, and there are errors. They have like just errors in episodes that got released.
Clipping like bad,
Yeah, but for what they were doing, it's incredible that that's it.
Oh, and the fact that they had no. It's not like today. The thing is, like, I have zero patience today, because today you can animate a scene and you can watch it back in real time. You can be like, yep, there we go. So if you fuck that up today, it's like you were lazy and incompetent. Back then, it was like, edit the thing, like with numbers basically, and like these basic wireframes. And then it's like, okay, now
Feed it into a computer, and in 2 weeks we'll
in
see
48, yeah, in 2 weeks we'll see the thing. And then it's like, hey, we fucked that up. It's like, well, we physically can't do another 2 weeks. We just, like, the shot that we have is the way that we got to use it or whatever. So it's the shows are so impressive in that regard.
Do you remember? And you probably
remember
will. The terrible
when we
animated.
realized
This is called Jingle
September?
Juice, Francois.
It's
Jingle Juice, just gin and cranberry.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
And
like, I'm not a
Club
big
Soda.
gin
Club
guy.
Soda.
Do not leave the
But it's actually
fucking
not
Club
a.
Soda out.
Is this just like
It's just sapphire gin,
Sapphire Gin? Yeah.
cranberry, club soda, jingle juice is
That's not bad.
what the AI called it. But yeah, do you remember the animation was terrible, the story was terrible, the theme song is terrible.
Do you remember?
Fucking Monster by Mistake.
Yes.
It was a terrible fucking.
Just a
animated-
terrible program.
With the big blue.
Yeah, when he sneezed, he would turn into the
I was
monster.
a kid.
It was a monster by
Monster
mistake.
by mistake.
Yeah, I did.
I'm
know.
just a kid. No. Fucking
say, like,
bullshit show.
Back then, incorporating CGI into live action.
No,
No live action. All
it was all
CGI.
CGI cartoon.
Oh, okay, never mind. Not as impressive.
Okay,
I
was
thought
Jimmy
it was-
Neutron quite a bit later? I never really watched it.
I didn't really watch it, but I actually saw recently, like I think it might have been a Reddit thread, but it was people who animated on the show talking about how it was a nightmare environment and like what they were trying to
Justin
achieve.
Roiland making
What,
it?
no, what they were what they were trying to
It
achieve
could have been.
was way beyond what they could achieve given like time constraints and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like people like animators were forced to work like crazy crunch time hours, like just like sweatshop conditions kind of thing. And
Which
Yeah.
still persists to this day, apparently.
Do
That
you
just
wa-
hasn't
have you
really-
ever seen Jimmy Neutron, Fran?
Yes, I saw the movie in theater.
Can you
Well, the
walk
shows.
us through the
I saw
premise
the
of the
show.
show? Because I really don't know what it is.
It's a boy genius. It's a show of the week.
Is it Dexter's Lab?
it's
No, not nearly as interesting.
no, it's
But it was funny. It was
basically
Like, what does he
I've
do?
watched
Is he
it with I've
hiding
watched
from his friends, or
I've
is
watched
he-
it with Drew.
Is he solving mysteries?
I've watched it with Drew a few like
It's-
it's,
it's
on Paramount Plus. It's
Monster of the Week format.
Yeah, it's-
something
it's-
different every week.
it's basically like Jimmy encounters problem, tries to solve problem with his some sci-fi science thing, unexpected future or consequence from his solution, And so then he has to try to solve the problem he created. And then by the end of the episode, we're back to normal. That's the format.
Number. God damn it! There was a fucking television show that was 2D animated where kids got brought into a computer, and they were trying to protect Motherboard.
Not ring a bell even a little bit.
Cyber Chase.
That I know the name.
That sounds like a familiar name for sure.
It was like
Trying
it
to
was
picture-
a fucking
trying to
good
picture-
show.
like, I remember there's Scooby Doo in the cyber.
Can we also
Okay,
talk?
wait, wasn't Katie? Wasn't what the fuck's his name? The guy who played the parrot in Aladdin.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Was Gilbert Godfrey in it? He was the parrot guy, like the fucking toucan thing in Cyber
he's-
Chase.
What? Well, no, he's a parrot in Aladdin.
No, in Cyber Chase, there's also a bird that has a spinning tail.
He played a parrot again.
Well, I don't know. It's not. It's like a toucan parrot.
Cyber Chase, yeah. If I saw an image,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna bring up some
like,
Cyber Chase
I can
images.
picture the logo, funnily enough. But
Can we talk about like our era of YTV and like
Also,
how much
we finally got to see Sugarland Beard.
I was
naked.
just gonna that's where I was gonna go there in a
that was
more
a couple years ago. Now,
in a
man.
less vulgar way. I was gonna say how awesome was that old school format where there was a host and it was like, oh yeah, like next we're gonna be
That's
what
not a thing.
we're gonna be going to.
now.
That's
we're gonna-
where it was at.
Yeah, it was so good. And then then Shug was on there and like that had to be everyone's first crush or like close to it.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey.
She was for sure my first celebrity crush. Absolutely.
I don't like when
Celebrity
when
in
I was a kid.
quotations.
Like I think it's because of her voice. I was like, maybe the voice just didn't like. I didn't have a romantic interest in
This
Shug,
is
but
Cyber
like,
Chase.
yeah. I remember I was a little younger than our.
Oh, yeah, I
It definitely
I
wasn't-
remember seeing
It definitely
it,
wasn't
but-
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, it
No.
is.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it is. Gilbert Godfrey's in the cast.
That's wild.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey did it.
I would have bet my limbs.
That's
I would have fully bet my
random
limbs.
thing I also didn't know.
That's fucking
wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
How do you know this? Like, I feel like this is before my time, or like after.
You
my
always
time.
talk about how like your childhood was just softcore porn and Dukes of Hazzard. This seems very like
But it's I remember this
Not
was, like
those
when,
two
when I
things.
was starting to age out of shows like that. It was like
2002, so I was 10.
it was a
Okay, yeah, I
CBC.
mean, it's okay.
Katie's
No,
saying it
it's-
was a CBC Kids thing.
it was proper.
PBS and CBC. It was on from 2002 to 2004, so when I was 10 to 12.
Yeah,
It had
I've seen
fucking
it, like,
Gilbert
I-
Godfrey in it.
that's fucking crazy.
You really didn't think so?
No, I was like, how the fuck do you get Gilbert? Like, I don't know what the budget of that show was, but you just blow it all on fucking Gilbert? Like,
Drew-
Christ, or was he in a bad phase?
It's
where
funny.
It's like, I'll do anything for money.
Speaking of like random celebrity
It's
animated
14
appearances,
seasons, you guys.
Drew has gotten really into this animated show
Mm-hmm.
that's on Disney. It's from the same people who made Phineas and Ferb, like the same animators.
Yep.
And some of the same voices. But it's Weird Al. Weird Al did the theme song. I'm like, oh, it's weird. They got Weird Al to do the theme song. That's weird. Weird Al is also the voice of the main character
Oh, did
In
you
a children's TV?
in a children's TV show. It's called Milo Murphy's Law.
help create it or anything?
He must have, yeah. It's the whole thing is there's a kid who is like his family's cursed with bad luck. Murphy's Law. His name's Milo
That's not
Murphy.
what Murphy's Law is.
I know it's
They
whatever.
They went over it in Interstellar. I thought Interstellar did a great job. Of,
Yeah.
going over that.
But this one is like the worst. It's like the very kid-friendly, simplistic interpretation of it.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, so like bad stuff always happens in every episode. It's like we have to get the package to whatever, and then they on their way. It's like an asteroid hits, and eventually somehow I don't know how because I haven't watched enough of the show. It gets into like there's time travelers and these plant creatures that are from pistachios, and these pistachio alien plant things are trying to take over humanity.
I feel like maybe you.
It's
took
very
a couple
Weird
whiffs
Al.
Off a bong, and you were like, "There's pistachios," and Drew's like, "Dad, stop!
No,
There's pistachios in here."
no.
I'm picturing
This show never existed.
I'm picturing
Andrew,
like,
you don't have a son. You've been living in this basement for 9
oh
years.
god, now there's not a son in this scenario?
Andrew,
Like you
wake up.
initially said that.
Just sitting here drinking vodka for half a decade.
Yeah,
no-
nobody's
there's no
here.
podcast.
Nobody's here.
There's no company.
We're figments.
Yeah, we're all the same.
What's that
I
Jim
see.
Jeffries bit about? Like he's like, maybe I'm a stand-up comedian, or more likely, I've been in a mental institution. I'm just staring at a wall. Yeah.
Isn't that the fucking truth? No, I mean, yeah, I Andrew, to go back to YTV, Carlos, Sugar.
Carlos and Sugar, I mean, was my
Carlos
love,
just coasted
but-
off Shug's charisma. Like,
Rock
he was a
and
great
Bod, you
co-host.
mean?
Nobody's fucking
By
watched-
charisma, do you mean Rock and Bod? 'Cause
Okay.
What's like? Was it back then though? I don't know. I guess I don't know.
I had a big crush. That is a if you look at it in retrospect,
back and
it
look
is
at that
fucked.
show, it is fucked.
Yeah, we
They
need
have
to.
a guy in a gimp suit pouring cream on kids.
He's I'm gonna pour my goo all over you kids.
we need to try. People need to be tried
Yeah.
and hanged.
and hung.
I'm gonna
Like,
goo you.
We
kids.
need Nuremberg too.
Not
and it's for
good.
the people who are involved with the creation and the anything.
Uh-oh.
If you were a
Uh-oh.
kid who appeared in you're getting hung at Nuremberg too. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember what the challenges were. Like
You were
stupid
complacent.
video game
It's like
shit.
trivia and like there were some physical challenges,
The
like
guy-
obstacle courses.
The guy had a big fucking. He was like
And he would grab.
He looked like Jim Carrey,
He would
He's like
grab-
a Jim Carrey knockoff with like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
like
hair.
Wish Jim
Yeah.
Carrey, Jim Carrey, but you bought
Oh,
him.
what
Wish.
was his name?
Fuck, if I could
Rick?
get an AMA from that guy.
Rick or something.
It was Rip. It was like some like old timey name. He had the big silver jacket.
Fuck.
Remember his name, Katie? What
but
the
that-
host of was called?
Was the Gimp guy like he was the?
The Punisher.
Was it the Punisher?
But he was just in
Punisher?
full like. If you look at what the Punisher wore and what the Gimp.
Scott Yapey.
Well, that was
And
the
if you-
character's name.
Yeah, he's 53 years old.
No,
No,
not the
that's-
actor, the character.
No, but that was the presenter, like the guy with the
Well,
hair.
what's the character's name? Because he didn't play himself. He had like a screen name.
If you look at what the Punisher.
Wink Yahoo.
Wink Yahoo.
Wink Yahoo.
yeah.
If
And
you
they
look
always
at
had
what the
Hubba Bubba
Punisher.
as the sponsor.
Then they had Slash and Sam and Taryn Aaron.
I never watched those, but I watched the
No.
first guy.
No, they were the ones that were like, "Hey guys, we're live on location here, and these kids are gonna do running, jumping." Like they would go to like on location pre-filmed videos, of, like kids doing beanbag races in towns in Ontario. Hey guys, we're in here in Markham, Ontario. Are you gonna pick the blue team or the red team? And then they would like the kids from the school would play a game, and then the kids would bet points on who won the game in Markham, Ontario. Then there was Quizmaster Patricia, the girl who like sometimes asked.
And
the
they actually
questions.
just called the guy the Punisher.
The Slime Master.
That's what he was called. Oh, I was gonna say because that's just like so.
Oh
like,
no!
Like Marvel would have just.
Oh,
been
I
like,
forgot.
"Fuck
Sean Majumder was on. He was the Slime Master, hosted the Slime Tour, and narrated the players' actions. He hosted the games up to the end of season 4.
I just remember that fucking
The Punisher.
that pervert
Mike Beaver, and then Sean Bubba Lucox.
that pervert in the gimp suit. Like he would grab the kids. Like it wasn't like safety. It was like grab them underneath on their fucking sides, fucking pick them up, fucking shove them in the tube, and then he
spice
runs up and he's got a fucking thing, and then he goos them. Like no good. We need prisons for
Sorry, Kels.
that
Thank
guy.
You. I figure we should do the other one that's a drink after this.
Why is there another drink?
The
But
spiced rum and
to go back to
cider.
the meta of what we've been talking about, the
Classic
television when
Canadian
I was a
cartoons.
kid was better than the television and cartoons
Andrew,
today.
agree or disagree? As a parent. As a fucking parent, say something.
Yeah, I think in general,
Say something.
I think in general, some of the stuff that we saw earlier was because it was on TV. It was meant to be enjoyed by not just kids. It was meant to be enjoyed by adults as well.
Yeah, their parents who had to watch.
So there was like humor in there that that made a lot of sense for like that holds up now even as an adult. But like shows
there are standouts that come out today.
For sure.
I'm not saying like there's all draws.
I would say one of the best kids shows that's come out, unfortunately, because of Anton Yelchin's death. It got cut short. We didn't get to see an ending to it. Troll Hunter is a
Fantastic.
fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
it is so good.
It was so good. I
have no idea what this is. Tell me.
It was fantastic.
It's Guillermo del Toro is the executive producer,
Creator,
creator, executive producer,
On the
and it's-
children's show.
Yeah,
And he made the.
yeah,
Same man.
creepy,
Same
weird
person.
shit.
Same guy.
It's the
Pan's
Spanish
Labyrinth.
Civil War, right?
Yeah,
Or no, some South American Civil War.
No, it's Spanish. I don't know if it was.
Inquisition maybe.
No,
No.
Too that's
No,
too
no,
early.
it might have been the Civil War, but I don't know. It might have been. I think it was just before World War One, and
Yeah,
like rebels are trying to overthrow.
And so like the guy
government.
has no eyes, and then his eyes are in his hands, and the girl's scared. I don't remember the movie very well. I fucking hated it.
It
I fucking hated Pan's Labyrinth.
I bet I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth in a hot minute. I would probably adore that movie way more than I enjoyed it when it first came out. That movie is
Fred, you need to finish your
dense
drink
in a
so
lot
we
of
can make
ways.
another drink.
What did you say?
You need to finish your drink so we can make
Okay.
another drink.
Ooh, that was fucking close.
But yeah, Troll Hunter. Basically, there's a normal kid, kind of
Animated?
kind of a losery
CGI.
yes.
Good
Kind of a
CGI.
losery guy, and he ends up. There's a secret world that humans don't know about. That's like supernatural. It's trolls, and he ends up through this amulet. That's Merlin. Merlin is a character in the show, and he protects the trolls.
Like
and
from-
Not right away, right?
Not
That's
right. Well,
later,
no,
yeah.
From Arthur's Court?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is same character. The idea is it's Merlin's amulet, so it's like he's not a character till like much later, but
'Cause I think I only saw the first 2 seasons.
he becomes a character later. But it's Merlin's amulet, and usually it's a troll who's the troll hunter, who's like a protector of the trolls. But through various circumstances, Jim, who's voiced by Anton Yelchin, becomes the new troll hunter
Why do
and
I know that
protector
name,
of the
but I can't
trolls.
picture who this is?
He's like the new
He's a bit
Scotty.
player in a lot of stuff. He was in Star Trek.
Oh,
as-
he's that young guy that died. He was so
Freak accident.
Yeah, he got
Freak
rolled
accident.
over by a vehicle in his own
He
lot.
got there was a recall notice on the parking brake of Jeeps, and less than a week after he got the notice, he went to go open his gatehouse at his house, and the parking brake failed and crushed him. And he was like just on this major upswing of
What
his
else was
career.
this?
Just these two things.
Yeah, he was on the pinnacle of like
Are you sure?
getting
Yes, unless we're gonna do a cinnamon stick garnish.
You can put your fucking...
Anyways, the cast of Troll Hunter is incredible. Kelsey Grammer is one of the
Yeah.
Okay,
trolls.
great casting.
And,
There's
yeah.
a CG animated television show created and produced by Guillermo del Toro that has Kelsey Grammer in it. If you had,
It's
if you had
so
told me
good.
that in 2008, I would have said you need
Ron Perlman is the villain.
you need to
Yeah,
be lost.
that's right. Ron Perlman's the villain. That's right.
Is it a kid show or is it
Oh, it's a
adult
kid
show?
show.
I would say
Isn't a
I would
kid's
say
show.
there's a difference between kids show and family
No,
show.
I
and
actually-
it's a it is I would say it's a family show.
Unless because there are baby shows. There are baby shows that are like Paw Patrol. This is a show that is for no one except for children and babies. Like no one is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
get enjoyment out of this. But to me, good children's television transcends that boundary where it's like because you don't need blood and cursing and all this fucking garbage
And-
to make a good television show and jerking off. You don't need that to make a good television show. Gargoyles, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Reboot, Beast Wars, like these shows all hold up today narratively and are fully fucking watchable. And I got nostalgia for a lot of them, but it's still like I would defend them as watchable and great still. I think and the format that I seem to enjoy way more than
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. That's a fantastic modern show. That was like after it was like I guess it just started up when I was a little too old. Like it was for sure. I didn't get into Clone Wars until probably season 3. Like I wasn't in on the ground floor. Like I saw the movie and whatever. Anyways, but the format that I noticed that I really enjoy, and it seems like a lot of modern kids television doesn't do this. And actually, the kids television that I dislike from my own time, not dislike, but I don't like as much as I like the shows that I just brought up. It's like there was SpongeBob, there was Fairly Odd Parents, there was all these shows, and they all did the Monster of the Week format where there was no overarching narrative, and there wasn't a lot of narrative meat because of that. It's like the characters could never get complex because they had to be the same at the beginning and the end of every fucking episode. Whereas shows like Gargoyles has season arcs that they go through, and even though each episode like is a standalone, something that happens to a character in episode 4 has reverberations in episode 8 of the first season, like stuff like that. And it's so much more watchable and interesting. You can get engaged like you can with any good narrative television show. And it seems like in the modern time, like I said, there are standouts. There's Clone Wars, there's Troll Hunters that do they have an overarching narrative, and they have like this is the threat, and now we need to do something about the threat or whatever it is.
When you start giving a fuck about the characters more too, right? Because you have this overarching narrative that ties the whole thing together. So it's like not just Monster of the Week kind of like reset every time. Like you get to see development over the course of a season, not just an episode. And
And I think I just want to bring up one show that I think is the pinnacle of the
Just one quick interjection. I just want to play a quote from Elon Musk.
from Elon Musk.
I just dropped like 150 milligram edible, and I'm feeling fucking zooted. Honestly, I'm feeling on the neck on the top floor right now. I'm about to design like 30 new fucking space cars and get us to Mars.
Can you find him talking about being an alpha male, please? Please, no, please do find that. But I think the best example of I sound like an old man, but our generation's cartoons, or what I felt like was like a pretty good trend versus today modern cartoons. Teen fucking Titans.
Yeah, that was
Teen
awesome.
Titans was a phenomenal
Then
show.
they made that fucking stupid.
This is what I'm saying. And then
Teen
they
Titans
took
Go?
Teen Titans away, and they gave us Teen Titans Go. No disrespect to the writers and whatever, but that is to me the example of like this is what modern audiences want: is this week to week, colorful, narratively like vapid dross that is like just trying to throw fart poop joke at you without any of the narrative like intricacy. And that to me, like, that's because you watch the show with the same characters make that transition from a early millennium audience to but is Teen Titans Go even on anymore? Like, I think that might even be over now. But like to that I want to say it kind of started in like 2012, 2013. That's when that transition like really fucking took hold. Yeah.
our current drink, Sleigh Ride Cider.
This is what this is?
Yes. It's just, we adapted a little bit. It's a Summersby with a shot of spiced rum.
Okay.
It's actually quite nice.
That sounds nice, yeah.
I would add some butter ripple schnapps to this, and I bet you it would be fucking dynamite.
Oh, yeah. If it was colder, too, that
Yeah.
would definitely help. But you know what we're getting today? And it's because of why, like, the narrative television I was talking about. I think it's
good, actually.
we get to enjoy as adults shows like Castlevania, like adult-oriented 2D animation
Yeah.
that is swearing and gore and is like has all that good shit, and it's catering to us, the kids who grew up with like some of these more narrative.
And you know what? You know another show I
shows.
think deserves recognition on that front because of the time it came out is Boondocks.
Oh,
Because at the time, there was no other show that was like anime, because that's like traditional anime style.
yeah.
And then vulgar, crazy humor, like over the top
political commentary
humor, like, and like offensive humor.
Yeah, I actually think Boondocks was a smarter. This is gonna sound wild because I love South Park. I think Boondocks is a smarter show than South Park. Like, it was.
I agree with the caveat that I think Boondocks is a little bit up its own ass. That takes a point away from it.
Definitely.
But I agree it's smarter because it's standing on the shoulders of South Park as well to a certain extent.
Yeah, I think more regularly it dealt with more serious subject matter.
Yeah.
And took a stance. Whereas South Park South Park
They make fun of both sides.
They really like to just at the end of the episode it's like, yeah, but nobody's right or wrong and everybody's dumb. Like which is great, which I think is actually it's
middle ground.
It's the show's strength actually. Like I'm not taking away from that. That's a voice that is unheard of today. But Boondocks would take a stance, which was cool for a show.
The R. Kelly episode is one of my favorites.
So funny.
I mean, this is before we really fully understood the scope of R. Kelly's depravity, but
Uncle Ruckus is also like top 10 characters ever invented.
Yeah, he's incredible. I've never even hardly watched Boondocks, but I know all about him.
As far as modern TV shows go, trying to think of ones that because watching stuff with Drew, ones that I think are really good.
Do you introduce him to old YTV era?
Oh yeah,
Or is he
between
just I don't like this?
No, between Katie and I, he's got a great taste in shows. Dexter's Lab is one that he loves. We love. Regular Show, which awesome. Omelette du fromage.
Is that the most famous Dexter episode?
Because
most quotable.
Most quotable for sure.
But I mean, any with Mandark, ha. Those are like my faves. But
Powerpuff Girls sucked, didn't it?
No, fuck
It didn't
you.
suck. It just
Great.
wasn't super consistent, I would say.
Also, that
There was nothing like it. There's
very
still
now
nothing like it.
politically protected villain that was a crab.
Him,
Him, yeah.
the devil. Yeah, the devil crab. Incredible. Like, still to this day, it's like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, it has no.
No, I haven't shown Drew Courage the Cowardly Dog yet. 'Cause I don't want to
He's
give. I don't
not
want to fuck him up.
25, so don't show
Throw
him
him right into the deep
What?
end.
Oh, you did?
Put on fucking Return to the Slab. right into the
Return
deep
to the
end.
Slab.
Turn
like,
the slab.
Traumatize him like all of us were traumatized.
That was when
Actually,
that
Drew-
was when CG went.
Drew's
to the
teacher.
next-
Far.
Drew's
No.
teacher messaged me, and
That's
she's
like-
like, "Hey,
He keeps
I had to.
having return the slab.
I've seen no. His teacher messaged me and she's like, "Yeah, just so you know, we're doing like stuff on the computers, and Drew and a few other students were looking up scary images, scary pictures, and like we can't do that at school or whatever." And I'm like, I get it, but also like
Like, well,
These are-
homie watches Pornhub, so I don't know, lady, what you're talking about.
I was gonna say like. There's a lot worse things we could be searching
Yeah,
on the school
Oh, yeah.
computer than scary pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
They must have real good blocking technology now. On
For sure
school
they do.
computers, they have to.
safe search.
I hope Amy doesn't mind that I tell this story, but I think it's so funny and cute. And especially it's like, because there is this like big difference, generally I think, between young, like adolescent, like boys and girls, like in terms of like what you think is risque and what you're looking up, because like boys become perverts. There's like a year where the boys transition from good, upstanding, moral members of society,
And then we become
and then we
perverts and we
become
never go
perverts, and then we never stop being perverts, and then it's just every day is a relentless fight against the werewolf inside, and that's the rest of our existence.
And then you turn 80, and then it goes away, and you're just
And
a
then you
cute old
die.
man, and then you die.
you die. But
You're a
anyway,
cute old
so
man for like a year or two.
so you
Right
you,
near the
you
end.
go back
You
to
got like
being an
14
outstanding
months.
citizen for like 2 years right before you die.
My
Anyways,
dad was like, notice there's a lot of porn on that computer. How do I get access to that? Very, very tired of magazines.
What's that one site you were looking at
Yeah,
there?
what was that? How do I get back on that Brazilian fart porn? I remember the old creep down to the computer at 2 o'clock in the morning and look up boobs and then wait as the picture loads line by line.
I love.
And then
Yeah.
it's like, it's getting to the top of the nipple. I'm like, all right, get ready. Like,
You have
if
to
the
just,
internet
you
goes
just have to
down
you
now-
have to just maintain a constant state of readiness.
Oh yeah, it's like with flip phones. Like you had to pay like $1 to see an image.
Yeah, I was
But
like,
that was like the only private screen you had access to when you were young. So it
you
was
didn't
like,
even have it. You were behind a sheet in a living room in a makeshift bedroom, sitting on a flip phone, paying $1 a crack to be in semi-privacy.
And you're, like, praying.
looking at pixelated nudity.
Yeah, like me, I'm praying. It's like, please don't say that this shows up on the bill as girl big jugs.
Yeah, BrazilianTits.com.
And then, yeah, you had to pay $1.
Did you not learn
I
anything?
ringtones. I downloaded London
I
Bridges
did
on my
too.
phone. It cost like $17.
I did too. There's a few like that, but I know there was like there was a couple, at least like half a dozen to a dozen images that I'm like, no, I need this. I need to see Brazilian jugs now on this size screen.
And the website was Brazilian Jugs. Now. And these women had massive breasts, but they were only 9 pixels between both breasts.
So you kind of had to use a
Okay.
lot of imagination.
So we did Candy Cane Crush. We did Santa Sipper. We did Mistletoe Martini.
Yeah.
We did Reindeer Rum Punch. We did Jingle Juice.
Yeah.
We did Sleigh Bell Cider. So now we got to
We
do
got 7 more. No.
with the champagne's one of them. We got 5 more.
Okay.
So let's do Frosty the Snowman.
Okay.
That's coconut rum and orange juice.
You can't. I'm doing all right. You can't be
Oh.
like this.
I drank probably a gallon of gin last night also.
True, you did.
I haven't had singles in so long. I was drinking singles because I don't like getting real wrecked when nobody else is at the Christmas party.
No, you're not. You're not a big fan of getting pissed by yourself.
One time.
There was one guy at Kelsey's Christmas party last night. He was so fucking fucked up, and he was the last guy there. Like when he rolled in, he was like, I'm like, you are. It wasn't that he was really drunk, because that's one thing. Drunkenness after 10 o'clock p.m., intoxication is entirely based on the surrounding people. Like if you're all really drunk, it's not
Oh, it
inappropriate
doesn't
to be
matter.
really
Yeah,
drunk.
yeah. It's
Even if you're at a corporate office party,
It's
as long
relative.
as everybody else is a little bit drunk,
Yeah.
nobody will even remember you being 2 stages ahead
Oh,
of
yeah.
them. But when you start creeping up to 3 or 4 stages ahead of everyone else, now even if they're pretty tight,
Yeah.
they're going to remember that you were really fucked up.
It's all relative, yeah. It's all about like because everyone is. I think it's the thing that everybody forgets.
Like some people get the booze blues, like, oh, I was so drunk last night. I'm like, just contextualize it. If everyone else was really hammered, they don't give a fuck that you were
No,
hammered.
because
They
everyone else is
remember.
as self-interested as you are.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing. It's like it's nobody else's. It's like
when-
main
it's-
character syndrome. It's like you're not that important to anybody.
No,
like
it's when
nobody's
you
yeah.
take 12 Advil.
Unless,
and
yeah,
you're
you-
on.
It's like everyone's sober playing like Nintendo Wii together, and you come in and you're like, "There's a great party you got here.
Take a
Thanks
look
for
at my
inviting
balls.
me."
Here's my balls.
That's more of a you thing. But
Well, whatever. I mean, it could
Here's
happen to
my
anybody.
balls.
Could happen to anybody.
I love the idea of before you show everyone your testicles, saying, "Take a look at my balls."
Well, let them know. Okay, what's this one called?
This one, it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be blue curacao or blue bowls or whatever.
Oh,
But it's Frosty the Snowman.
okay, what is it, fuckhead? Just throw a little grenadine in there, sweetheart, would you?
No, it's we don't need grenadine. It's just Malibu and OJ. It's fine.
Well, let's just,
It's a tropical
just
Christmas.
put a little, just
It's
a
a
kiss.
it's
in.
a Christmas vacation.
It'll
is
be.
what
We'll call
is.
it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It'll be red.
Okay.
Just, if we're gonna shake them, let's have 3 ingredients.
I thought it was like my party or whatever.
That's good. Whoa, fuckhead.
I thought this was like my show or my party, but
Man. But talking
Now,
about
now the alcohol's in charge.
like drinking too much, but like because I feel like there was a long.
Now that like sitting down, drinking 12 different shots and talking about getting too drunk.
There was a like
That's one
I'll
of
say
my-
that I didn't get too drunk, but it was an instance where I was like, I need to watch this behavior that is fine in front of my friends and the people that I generally spend time with is not necessarily fine everywhere. And because I feel like we went through like way too long of a phase of we went through the college drinking phase from the time we were like 14 till we were like
35, and I'm not
yeah,
even
it's like
35
it
yet.
might still we're at the tail end of it still kind of, but it's I feel like it kind of slowed down in the last like 2-3 years. But anyways,
it's-
we
it's
went
slowed
through
down a lot.
that people go through that phase for like 2-3 years when they're in college. We've been going through it since we were like 14. Anyways, I remember I was hanging out with, and it was like for year 1 of Amy and I dating, and I got a case of Bud Light apples. So it was when they were still kind of the new hot thing. And we went and we watched a movie or something at her brother's house, and
You just drank a dozen Bud Light apples.
yeah, but very unconsciously. Like I just sat there while we were watching this movie and like not thinking, it was just like taking a beer out, cracking it, drinking it, finishing it, taking another beer out, cracking it, drinking it, finishing it, and then by the time the movie like wrapped up, I'd had like 9 beers, and everyone else had like 1 or 2. And like the thing is, what's scary is like I felt like pretty fine, like not that drunk.
Got your
and I'm
vehicle and you
like,
drove.
but these people just witnessed me, dog, 9
delete.
fucking beers,
Just delete
like,
beers.
with no issue. And I'm like, we gotta have a tab on this. Like we can't let them think that I'm a fucking drunk.
Cheers.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah,
Reindeer.
this is reindeer menstrual blood.
Better than
Quite sweet.
Quite sweet. Yeah, see, that's kind of thing. Like, we showed up at the Christmas party last night, and we were at a table with 2 people from the Indian subcontinent. I don't know which country they were from, but they were like, from Nepal or Bangladesh or India or whatever, and they didn't drink. And then 2 young people who also didn't drink. They had a drink. And then a younger gentleman who I don't think he has been out or has any friends. And then Kelsey and I, and then like I'm plowing through like very casually having like 7 or 8 singles, and people are like giving us their drink tickets and shit because they're not drinking, and I'm like very casually polishing those off as well. And then it's like, Kate, we're gonna go to the office. It's like, okay, well, we're driving. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, like, you guys, I ate a lot of food, and I had 7 drinks in 4 hours. Like, I'm fine to drive.
Nothing. There's nothing. It's good, but it's terrifying and sort of embarrassing when it's like, like yeah, somebody looks at you with the eyes that are like,
You sure
like,
about that?
You shouldn't drink. Like
You
those,
sure about
those
that?
you shouldn't drive. Or sorry, you shouldn't drive. Eyes. It's the worst thing ever because now you have to argue with someone.
About why it's okay.
One of my favorite lines, Brad, ever from American Dad. It applies to what we were just saying. He's like, "Come on," it's Jeff talking to Haley. He's like, "Come on, babe, let's go get high and talk about other times that we got high."
Yeah, very true. What I mean, I have a personal insistence on bringing out one of my cheesy favorite lines, which is when a waitress asks me if I need another drink, I tell her yes because I need to drive. Yeah, I better have.
And then you take a cab home most of the time.
Yeah, but I tell her no. I better have just one more because I've got to drive.
And then I'll go get the drink.
And then they go get me another drink, and they are.
Okay, Katie and I went for dinner with Joel a couple weeks back, and we had an interesting interaction with the server. I want your perspective on it.
As a father.
No, but I guess technically everything I say is from that lens. But she comes up to take our order or whatever. Like, we sit down. She's coming, like, whatever. Just introduce yourself, and she's like, "Oh, how's your night going?" "Oh, good. How are you?" And she's like, I'm pretty mediocre, actually." And then just kind of carried on. But it was just like, it. Obviously, it's very different than what you typically would get from someone in the service industry. And, like, part of me is like, oh, okay, like, that's different. I get it. And part of me is like, and this is very not good, maybe. But part of me is like, I'm here. I don't want to hear about your problems. Like, I'm here to, like, have a meal, to, like, have some drinks. Like, I don't want to think about you having problems. Like, just say fine, thanks.
I think I'm fully for it. I think the problem is with the societal regularity of, like, asking and not caring. I think that's the one that should stop before the, like, somebody who actually gives you an honest
So we should just
answer.
change the greeting then?
Yeah. Hello. I would like this, please.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I mean, I think
Is it like, don't ask if you don't
Yeah,
care.
it's a colloquial, not
Lie.
a question.
It's a colloquial
but
lie.
she was the one who asked, though.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing
You don't have to ask her how she's doing.
Hey, how are you? Fine.
But if you, yeah, fine. This is what I like to order. I mean, if you don't care, don't care.
I mean, it's just like, it's such the
That's what I'm saying, though. But
thing,
it's like,
though.
but if you want to return the courtesy, then return the courtesy.
It's true. I mean, ultimately, like, yeah, don't ask if you're not prepared to listen. But it's also just, I don't know.
There's a limit, right? Like, if she went on for 5 minutes, then it's like you're getting inappropriate. But it's like,
No,
she didn't. She just was honest.
It's also just, I'm not saying like reprimand her or anything, but it's just like, there's built in, we know what this is. You're my service person. Like, I don't want to think about you having problems or as a person right now.
Yeah,
in that
fair.
sense.
Fair
Like,
enough. Fuck 'em.
But I would say, like, then it's on the onus to you to not say how are you doing. Like, you don't say.
I
that.
disagree. Because it's just such a, if there was like a movement in the other direction, I could maybe agree, but it's just such, like, the appropriate answer to, hey, how are you, is fine. How are you? Or good. It's not.
Yeah, but
That's like the social
not if you're
construction.
not if you're not being honest. Say I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking, and then order your thing.
Oh, there's a good one. That is a good common ground.
That would be, I guess.
Thank
but
you for
I
asking. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
It's just
would
the
like the
social. It's everyone knows.
But
in
that one
North
some
America.
people do use.
Yeah,
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
typically you would. It's like,
I'm gonna start doing that one
It's,
because
hey,
I don't give a fuck how people's day is going.
no, I really don't. I well,
I like
typically I
that.
don't.
I don't use that enough.
I'm that's the thing. I hate. There's nothing I hate more.
Well, you hate a lot of things.
I know.
You hate more than.
There's several things I don't like, but this I do really not like. I don't like questions with a expected answer. I hate them. If you're trying to bait something out of me, I will do the fucking opposite because I hate being a robot in someone else's little
In their game.
Like I don't. I'm like, don't even talk to me. I have no interest in engaging with you if you already have an answer in mind that I'm supposed to respond.
You would say you didn't pass through fire and death.
I'll say I like that one.
No, but that's what you would say about that.
To Brad, the words of the witless worm.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to talk to witless fucking worms.
So you being asked that question, you're telling them that you had not passed.
Yeah, it's like
fire
I'm not.
and death
Am I like
to brandy
if you want
words,
somebody
they
to
witless
if you
worm.
want somebody to give you platitudes or like answer your fucking thing in the way that you wanted answers, go on.
I'd say spice
go
up
on the,
and be
go
like-
on the computer, talk to fucking Smarter Child, and Smarter Child.
I miss Smarter
Smarter Child will call you a pretty princess that you want to be called.
Here's
like,
what I like. I think we should spice this up and ask them, how large do you think my penis is?
Smarter Child.
No, the waitress or waiter. You're serving a restaurant. Hit them with a bit of a curveball.
No.
No, because it's not sexual. It's purely scientific.
I mean, it is.
I mean,
Please
that
hypothesize.
has a lot of implications.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's
Sure.
That's
We
a
can
tough
imply
one.
things.
That's a tough one. I mean, there's we know waitresses in the city who would take that in stride.
Oh, absolutely.
It's funny because like the thing that you're describing to a certain extent, Francois, reminds me of like that Ricky Gervais movie, like The Invention of Lying, where it's just like interact with someone. It's like they start talking. It's like, I'm not interested in what you have to say. Please just dispense with your service in society. Thank you.
No, it's not that. It's just being like slightly more honest. It's like just don't say things that you don't mean. That's it. It's like just don't, and especially like with you, you're getting mad at her for being honest.
I'm not getting mad. I just thought it was.
You said it's like
I thought it was kind of
you
an
said
odd
don't
thing to do.
reprimand her, which means that you were like considering that she should be reprimanded.
No.
So,
My point wasn't like. Yeah, it was not like reprimand. It's just like it's an odd choice to me in that interaction.
Yeah.
Where it goes a certain way and like you're in an industry,
but I
you're in
actually
a thing
think-
where you're trying to get tips, and it's like it was just an odd interaction.
Yeah, and I'd say like in today's society where we have so much of this, what I really despise, which is like questions with expected answers. It's nice, just like a breath of like, even if it's uncomfortable honesty, is like so fucking rare. I think it's not like she's being rude. She didn't like chastise. She didn't call anyone a name. She didn't like nothing like that. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You asked. You get the answer.
I would go.
Fair enough. Yeah, I disagree, but
Thank you very much.
If you don't care about her state of being, then don't fucking ask about her state of being.
Fuck her.
Which I think is totally fine. I also don't think that you being asked a question like that, once again, I would also not like that. Just because somebody asks me how I am does not fucking make me need to care about how the fuck they are. Like that should not be written down in that interaction. I also think that's bullshit.
You could also say like if she says, "How are you doing?" You're just saying that is none of your fucking business.
That would be great.
yeah,
You,
I mean,
you hit her like she hits you with uncomfortable honesty. You hit her back with uncomfortable honesty.
It is absolutely none of your fucking business. Also,
I think
she's
it was-
not tipping you, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, fact. Yeah, you're not like.
I think it's more like she was trying to do the whole like, oh, the expected interaction is X, so I'm going to do this other thing to be like quirky and different and subvert the expectations.
I'd read it
And
as
to me, it
fishing,
was like-
she's fishing for
I
attention,
think
which I also hate.
I should have just said, and you just lost your tip. I mean, like,
absolutely.
mediocre, and you're not getting tipped.
And tipping is not mandatory. It is to
No.
ensure proper serve. Actually, I don't know if that is true.
Proper or prompt, yeah.
But is that actually it?
Like a tip was the
Not
thing.
in our culture.
A tip originally was a thing.
I just
Maybe
I just had to tip the guy at fucking Subway. I had no choice. It just had 3 options, and it was 10%, 50%, or whatever. There was no. I mean, maybe if I just pressed the red button.
That's like
but
when
there
you-
was no obvious skip option.
When you go to the gratuity and it's like 15%, 35%, or 98%.
I hate this new convention of having to tip non-wait staff. Like going to the counter to pick food up and them expecting a tip. It's like, motherfucker, piss off. I'm not tipping you.
I like them leaving a tip jar out. And if they've
That's
done
fine.
something and I'm like, man, I really
But
enjoy
the expected options.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here to pick my food up, and I'm tipping you. Like, where does this stop? And then the other one I actually get angry about is when I go to the fucking grocery store or I go to fucking Shoppers, and they're like, "Oh, donate $5 to what?" Fuck you, you corporate fucks. How about you donate double what the options are there, because you're recording absolutely record profits. Like, fuck you for even asking people to donate to a charity and then getting to claim in other people's name. Oh, look at how
much Sobeys donated.
look at how much Sobeys or Shoppers did. Fuck you.
But I
Don't do that.
because
That's
I've had
fucked.
instances actually at Subway specifically where I've had like a guy just like go above and beyond. I'm like, why are you working at Subway? Like, I'm just like, you just made my. I used to have this one guy I would go to when I would come off shift when I used to work at that Fast Gas on 20th and H, and I would come to Subway at like early in the morning because I would work over the night, and I would go there for a breakfast sandwich, and he was just like, it's like 6 a.m. and he is just like shining happiness, like pounding it at me, and I'm like, you are at a miserable dead end Subway job, and he wasn't like a young guy doing this as like a summer job or like as a student.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could tell he was like a career guy. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm so impressed that you aren't beaten down from this thing. And he was so I would be like, get a $20 sandwich and then tip him like $10. I'm like,
Yeah, I agree, man. I think
like you made my day better. You didn't just make my experience at Subway better. I now have a better outlook.
the
on
thing
my
is, like, your interacting with him in a positive manner was probably so, because like half of that corporate like death is like shitty customers expecting whatever.
Absolutely.
And it was like, I remember I've told you guys about Marjay in Vancouver. Like, I used to fucking frequent the McDonald's next to my place in Vancouver at like 4 a.m. Anyways, and I'm like, I was there regularly enough. It was actually all the restaurants on my street that I'm like, I need to like introduce myself to these people and get to know them, because I don't want to see this person's face and not know their name. So like, I introduced myself to the McDonald's guy and the Quiznos guy and the lady that ran the Chinese restaurant right by me
and the
whatever.
prostitute across the street.
The prostitutes, all of them. Well, mostly the prostitutes and the drug dealer next door. But like Marjay I loved Marjay. He was like my stand. I also loved the woman who worked at the Chinese restaurant, was also fucking unreal. But Marjay was so awesome, and he got to know me, and he would see me like come in, and then he would be like, he would already tell them what I'm gonna order, and he'd have it fucking cooking up for me. And then if there was anyone dilly-dallying, he would be like, yeah, no, sorry, ma'am, let him in front of you. Hey, how you doing? And
That's
then
great.
and then it's like, have a little chat. Me and Marjay would be like, how you doing? How was the day? How was fucking night school or whatever? And then by the time that I had gotten to the front, my shit was already fucking good to go for me. And yeah, it was, and like,
It's just like it makes your day better.
oh, and his day was so much better. It's like I get to actually interact with somebody who treats me like a person and not a fucking automaton or whatever. And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, man. If somebody does it, if somebody goes above and beyond to do well at their work, they deserve some.
I will tell you, like,
recognition.
when I go through our Google reviews on Prairie Sun, the one name that always comes up is Jeremy, the tall redheaded guy with
He's
the beard.
so amazing.
Oh, he's incredible.
He's like the nice guy.
Is he
ever.
Australian?
And- No,
that's-
that's Alex. That's the other
Alex.
guy.
He's
Oh, he's also awesome. But yeah, sorry.
But no, Jeremy's a little bit taller. But I just went to him. I was like, you work in a restaurant where at our peak, there are like 70 people working here. And people consistently go on Google just to say how much they enjoyed your particular service. Like,
and there's a few servicers that are great.
great. Oh, yeah.
All this, I would say,
Riley's awesome.
all of them are great. Yeah.
Kenner's great.
Kenner's great. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you do have like an over average amount of.
So, I mean, he's also standing
wait
out
staff.
among what I would consider standout servers. I'm like, you should really take that with a point of pride. Like, I always say to people, if we have a customer who's like being bitchy and complaining, send Jeremy over because they can't be mad at
Yeah,
him.
they'll become complacent.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gingerbread delight, apparently.
So this is a Bailey's and Fireball.
It is.
Oh boy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right down Santa Claus Lane. That's how you know I'm drunk, because I hate Christmas when I'm singing.
Probably one of the more palatable fireball drinks I've ever had.
Yeah, and this one actually, it's like, I'm gonna say the middle two we had were the worst because they didn't go together at all. But I think the last few at least
The
work
cohesive.
conceptually. Like,
Yeah. One thing about the whole tipping, like, whatever, it's such a, like, I've thought about this, whatever, over the years, and it's like, obviously I have tremendous respect for anyone who can be in the service industry and do that job. It's like, it's so fucking, it's demanding and it's whatever.
For me, it's the monotony. also.
Largely,
And it's the
largely thankless for
largely thankless.
any extra work you do is thankless.
So, like, that being said, specifically with the concept of tipping, it's interesting to me that similar to universal dental care, who are some of the most people who speak out against universal dental care? Dentists.
Yes.
Dentists are the ones who are like, no, don't do universal dental care.
Just like your grandfather against universal health care, the people who fought against it were the doctors.
Yeah, exactly, because they are they benefit off of it. So what's tough for me with the whole tipping situation is some people who work or have worked in the service industry like to kind of have it both ways, where it's like complain about the system and how sometimes they get shafted, but also when you're in an argument where it's like, oh, or a discussion where it's like, okay, you get shafted. Well, how about we move like no tips? Like you just get paid a proper wage, a better wage. And they're like, nope. Most people, a lot of them are like, nope, we don't want that. And it's like,
No,
then you don't get to bitch about it
We
because
entertained moving away from tips, and that was like abso-fucking-lutely.
yeah. And
Why can't it be like the way, in my head, the way that tips are supposed to work, where it's not an expected societal norm? It is, you get paid a living wage, baseline. Absolutely, you get paid your living wage. You need to be able to afford a place to live and food and all that stuff. You get paid that amount of money. But let's say you do an exceptional job, and one of your customers genuinely is like, it's like you said with the Subway guy, is like, no, you rocked it. Like I want to, and
that is the ideal, obviously.
to me, that's what tipping should be, and that is to me, that's the spiritual.
Yeah,
but the whole thing, as you will be able to say, if you had to double or 1.5 times this what you pay your wait staff,
we go back over 2 weeks.
there would be how expensive would food have to be?
Yeah, like you'd have to pay
double, triple what we're paying now.
Yeah, like it would be nuts. It's already labor is so fucking expensive. It's
so nuts. Like, how do countries exist that's how they work? Because not all countries tip. Like in Australia, isn't it like fucking? It's nearly offensive to tip.
In Europe, especially, I think again, it's because
how do they function?
Their the social nets and programs that exist make it so. Plus their wages, like what wages are set at.
Are they getting a wage and then they're also just taking a bunch of government money in Australia?
Not government money. It's just like
I couldn't tell you.
Similar to Canada versus the U.S., right? Where you pay more taxes in Canada, whatever. But like if you're in the lower income bracket, healthcare is not a thing you have to worry about. So even though you're getting paid less,
it's very tough to say because like.
I'm so drunk.
Australia has socialized.
I have to pay out tips anyway, like because now tips are all digital. Nobody's giving anybody cash hardly.
Very rarely. Yeah.
So like, D has to go every other week is payroll week and tip week. So this past week was tip week. So D went down to the bank, calculated what all the tips were, withdrew a fucking $10,000 in cash. Brought it back to the brewery, put it in envelopes, and gave it to everybody.
Because the way that it works with some places is like it's a shared tip system.
Oh, tip pooling.
Yeah,
there's a whole we could get into that.
That's what I'm saying. So what is your?
Do you have to tip out the kitchen staff?
Son do? Do you like? Does the $500 if somebody gives you a $500 tip, do you get that $500 tip, or do you have to share
your percentage? But you have to tip out the bar and the kitchen.
And they don't just a percentage.
A percentage of your tips. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I have to tip out the bar and the kitchen.
So that's
is there a minimum threshold?
That's the big argument.
Let's say you only got $5 worth of tips.
Percentage of your tip. So
you have
but
to.
That's
even
the
though
big.
You only got $5.
Yeah.
So that's the big argument.
Shouldn't there be a minimum
that's the big
argument.
That's the big
The
argument.
kitchen gets nothing.
Yeah, of the $5.
Yeah, but then they get nothing. So like
But I'm saying like, that's what I'm saying is like, if you made $100, then it sets in, is what I'm saying.
This whole situation.
Taking the person's $5, it's like that sucks. Like I only made $5,
but then they're getting the full $5, and the kitchen isn't getting the percentage of the $5 they got.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This is the
but
whole.
All that's happening is you're just hurting the kitchen for no reason. If it's a percentage,
but as opposed to like in this other scenario, you're hurting the person who made the $5.
we don't think about it tip by tip. It's just what were your tips in 2 weeks? Here's the percentage of it paid.
I'm saying do think about it tip by tip. Like I'm saying like.
Well,
like obviously somebody who's like
So it's
crazy.
not, but it's not
about
the
it tip-
kitchen's fault that they tip $5.
Thinking about
No.
it tip by tip
it's
is
also-
the
why
argument
why
why.
does the server get $5?
But it's also not necessarily the server's fault that he only got $5 in tips. Like maybe he's just a man because men are going to make.
I mean,
less
the
tips.
fair thing to do is just keep the percentage and just do the total.
I think like it could be equally as fair if it was like there's a certain threshold, so you make sure that like I said, it's like using
the server
using
make
a $5 example. It's like it sucks that you finally made your $5 tip, and then it's like, well, I don't even get to keep my $5 tip.
Yeah, but I mean, they have to tip out like 50 cents to the
dollar or what? No, that would be wild. 50%?
No, 50 cents of the $5. Like,
what is that?
also, like the servers are
10%?
making double what the kitchen staff's making with tips.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, my threshold is very low. Like I'm saying, like this sets in at $100 or something.
But what is the justification? Why does the server get to keep a lower percentage and not the kitchen?
Because
like,
why do you
cut
it's so
the kitchen
little
out?
money that it sucks that they have to. It's the same principle as like how tax brackets work. Kind of, it's like the more you're earning, you should have to pay a higher
because
tax
the tip
bracket.
total is lower doesn't mean the kitchen did less for that $5.
Oh, I didn't say they did.
So what
this
is the
purely like this person literally only got $5 worth of tips. That's next to nothing. In the kitchen staff's paycheck, it's almost negligible. Why not just let them keep the 50 cents?
I mean, then you're just like,
And then at least it feels like there's a system in place to protect low earning or like low whatever. There's like something there that's like, we appreciate that it's like,
yeah, but then you're just
like, you're not a woman, you're not going to make.
But now you're just hurting the kitchen staff, and what's the justification?
But like I said, it's like, it's negligible. It's not like most.
But if it's negligible to the kitchen staff, it's negligible to the server.
Well, maybe not. Well, no, because I think for morale, it's good for the server. Like for him, it's like it matters that you care that.
But it's also morale for the kitchen. You're like,
well, I don't think they care. I don't think they care that they get the 50 cents from the guy that only made $5.
Big time. Tips.
It's a gesture.
Tip
It's a
fighting
big
the
gesture.
kitchen is a big thing.
Like, okay, well, it seems a little predatory, but okay.
It's just like the percentage is a percentage, so it doesn't matter what the individual tips were.
No, I understand. I don't not understand what you're saying. I'm saying, and you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah. Like you would.
I just disagree with that.
You would just
I
piss the
disagree
kitchen
with you.
staff off.
Like I said, I'm like, tax brackets work the way they do for a reason. I would run my thing like tax brackets do. Like the amount the tip is, like there's a threshold to where it's like now you're paying into this other system. Now,
But you're not like the tax threshold is like you're affecting the government, not individual people that are working in the kitchen.
No, but your earnings in
So
society.
what would you say
is how
if the
much you
kitchen
should
staff
pay
comes
into
to you and
society.
says, "Why don't I get 50% of that 50 cents out of that $5?"
It's only $5.
And they would say, "Well, that matters to me because if the waitress
Well, I'm
gets
like, you're predatory.
if the kitchen staff's predatory, like they
in
hardly make
in that
anything.
instance, yeah. Like you really want this 50 cents, like that. Like,
Okay, so
this person is making $5 worth of tips.
Oh,
You can't let them keep their fucking 50 cents.
Okay,
That's what I would say.
so the waitress goes for 2 weeks and she gets 45 $5 tips, 50 cents a pop, and now we're talking like $30 for the tips.
No, you said you at the end. What is it?
I'm just saying if you
At the end of the month, they have a tally. No. I'm saying the grand total of the amount of
Oh, I
tips
thought
they
you
made.
meant from individual table by table tips.
No. It's they made $5.
Oh, they would never make $5. So,
But I'm saying like this is hypothetical. So like they were only tipped.
This is the argument as to why if you don't tip when you're out at a restaurant, you're a piece of shit, because now the waitress has to pay for waiting your table. She has to tip out whoever, and with you when you don't tip, you're affecting the ratio of table to tip percentages.
not really, because she just has to pay out the percentage tips based on what she took in.
Well,
So I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like she gets $5 from this table and $5 from that table, and every time she gets $5.
No. The total is what matters because that's when it's calculated. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Like to me, it's the grand total at the end. And I'm saying like if it doesn't meet a certain threshold, like the amount of money that we're taking from this is negligible. And this could actually matter to this waiter who's already like they're trying to make their nut on tips, and now we're taking more money away from them.
I think the threshold would have to be so low that it would be negligible either way.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there would be a number. Like there would have to be discussion on what that number is.
Yeah, but
I'm
obviously,
sure there's a number
The problem is that
that exists. Like I said, it's like tax brackets. It's like they work the same way.
The assumption that you're making here is that the waitresses are making their nut off the tips and the kitchen staff isn't. But the kitchen staff is also relying on the tips to survive. It's not just the waitress.
No, and they still are entitled to a large portion of tips. It's a very small portion they're not entitled to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're just favoriting the waitresses over the bar staff or over the kitchen staff.
Well, yeah, the person who is front facing, I am.
Yeah. So you're just saying that
because like that's the service that's like at the end of the day, nobody tips, or very rarely does somebody tip. Like somebody's tipping based on the person who they were actually dealing with.
So yeah, the only issue here is that from an ownership perspective, you are saying through your actions the servers matter more than the kitchen staff. End of the story.
No.
Yeah, you are, because you're saying these people deserve the tips more than you guys do. Because
sure, you could. Okay, if you want to.
That's what they would.
If you want to say it that way, yeah. Sure.
But they would interpret it like that.
Sure.
They would. Like they're not going to not think.
Well, I know they're going to interpret it in the way that it makes them the victim. Yeah, absolutely. So like, yes, I can't disagree with like you're gonna frame things in a way that makes you out to be the victim.
Yeah, of course.
Like, but then I would say that it's like the waiter might frame it in a way that it's like, I only made $5 and now you're taking another fucking 10% off the $5 I made. Thank you. So it's like, yeah, they would also frame it as like, this doesn't seem very fair. I'm the one who had to deal with the abuse from the customer. Fuck you. So.
Okay, what is this one?
This is a Christmas cookie shooter.
And it is?
Amaretto and Bailey's.
See, these are quite a bit easier now.
Is that a good combo?
Ooh, I actually like that.
That's not bad.
I feel like aren't those both like mixes? Isn't that usually like the?
Oh, you drink amaretto and orange juice.
What is amaretto? Sorry, I might be confused as to what amaretto is.
People drink amaretto rocks. Di Serono.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, this is. Oh, sorry.
Di Serono.
Is amaretto. Amaretto is the alcohol. Di Serono is the
Oh, sorry. I don't know why in my head amaretto was like a
bowls or a.
Well, like more like a cream
Katie?
thing.
You want to try?
Sure.
There's extra. There's lots extra.
Actually, our viewer favorite, Dallas, used to love Di Serono and orange juice. That was his favorite. I think he would drink it until it gave him diarrhea because orange juice will do that if you have too much of it. It's excellent on the rocks. Simply irresistible with fruit juices, rum, vodka, or whiskey. So yeah, you're right. It to mix with other things.
I mean, this is not what I thought it was at all. Like, what's the percentage on a liqueur? Well, yeah, like a Bailey's or
like a 14%. I don't know what's Bailey's.
Yeah, 14.
like Marula. What's the
Amarula again is probably 14, 15.
Under
Okay.
20% or under.
So this is like half what I thought it was.
17%.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is.
It's a little more
It's
than.
not, this isn't really a liqueur, but it's like a.
Okay, let's go through
That's
these.
all they call it liqueur.
We've done Candy Cane Crush, Santa Sipper, Gingerbread Delight, Frosty the Snowman, Mistletoe Martini, Reindeer Rum Punch. Okay, we haven't done a Peppermint Patty. We've done Jingle Juice. We've done Sleigh Bell Cider, Christmas Cookie Shooter, and we did Champagne counts as one of those.
Yeah.
So we have 3.
Okay, and what are they? Hit us with them, and we're going to judge the last 3 on ranking what we think are going to be the best versus what is actually the best.
And just those 3.
Yes, in order.
These are the ones where we kind of like the thread is kind of lost. We have another one that's basically the same as the Candy Cane Crush, supposedly, which is just a peppermint patty shot, which is creme de menthe.
The thread is lost.
Chocolate liqueur. It's like repeating basically. Like we have.
Well, what are the other ones?
These last 3 aren't very interesting.
Yeah, we have the White Russian, which we were swapping for something else. The champagne.
Why don't to be get interesting?
Mix all.
Oh no, we were gonna do one of them. Was going to be a 3 Wise Men.
I was gonna say, why don't you like guys like come up with something
on the spot?
On the spot,
sure.
yeah.
I would really like to try. And Andrew, you correct me if I'm wrong. I would like to see.
I also like.
I've got one.
Can we
I've
finish
got one.
off the last conversation rather than just?
Oh, the
whatever?
tipping.
Can we like do we? I guess like to bring it back to the initial stance before we got fucking stalemated. Like, do we think that reformation is probably like needed in our country, or is it fine as it is? Kind of. Is it sort of like if you're not dealing with this evil, you're dealing with another
Again,
evil.
yeah, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
We're not going
Type
back.
deal.
I-
And it's
I-
like even if we weren't
pragmatically.
dealing with this, we're going to be dealing with some other thing.
I think it's tough because like I have a lot of sympathy for the bullshit servers have to put up with.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like very like on board. It's a fucking tough thing and like respect to you. Where it loses that, where they lose not sympathy, but where they lose my ear, I guess, is like
A portion of the sympathy.
a portion of the sympathy, I guess, is like one or two out of the X number of tables they didn't tip me or they under tipped me. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the system that
a
you
boom.
advocate for.
Yeah,
is
it's
part,
like
part of the
oil-
tipping system is
It's like oil workers. It's like it's
Yeah.
a boom bust industry. You can't like reap the rewards of when it's going hot, and then when it goes bad, you're like, this isn't fucking fair. It's like
Yeah.
that's what like
That's
it-
what
that's
attracts
why
you
you get
to
to
it.
drive the $80,000 truck for 3 years and you afford it was because of the nature.
And
of the
I
industry.
will say in our establishment, a lot of times you'll see very generous patrons. We've had Christmas parties. If you have a Christmas party at the Prairie Sun, we automatically tack on like an 18% gratuity. So,
which I think is great.
and everyone knows. Everyone knows ahead of time. It's like gratuity's already included.
See,
we had a-
like that a lot.
We had a 60-person Christmas party, 18% gratuity. They spent $5,000, and then they tipped the girl $300 on top of that. And as they're doing it, she's like, "There's already an 18% fucking gratuity on this."
They don't feel the need.
They're like, "We don't care.
Yeah.
We want to tip
Yeah.
you more,"
Which I think is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I see. I to me that's
That's what tipping should be.
yeah, to me that's ideal. Like I love that. I love the little bit of meritocracy that's in there. That it's like if you are exceptional, like let's say the meal, like to bring back the kitchen, because I feel like I was flipping towards people who actually cook the food, and I don't want to be like if you make an incredible meal, you deserve like recognition for like if your steak is like perfect, if your portioning is, you know what I mean, like you go above and beyond and like do that little bit. Like, because I think I would say like unfortunately like 75% of the time it's the wait experience that gets the tip. Like even if the meal is incredible but the server was bad,
Oh, yeah,
there
that
will be no
affects it
tip.
way more.
Whereas like if you flip it, even if the meal wasn't necessarily great but the waitress was really great, you might still get a tip. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
and it's unfairly weighted in that way. But yeah, like I love the idea of like this, it's there's a little bit of meritocracy. Like the better you do at your job, you might get that little bump or whatever.
It's unfortunate that the system is set up in such a way that it is a meritocracy to a point, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, at some point, it's like you can give the best service to a piece of shit person and they won't tip you, or you can give terrible service to a really generous person and they'll tip you.
Yeah.
So
And the fact that it's like at the end of the day, if an employee shows up to their work and does their job, they need to get paid.
Yeah.
They need to get money. It's like it doesn't matter.
the tip should be above and beyond your living wage.
Yeah, like-
and the better you perform.
I mean, obviously, rudeness to front-facing staff could cause a customer to not come back. But like, let's say wait staff is perfectly neutral. They say hello.
Thank you. They bring everything on time.
Yeah, it's like it's not mean, it's not rude, but it's like, you know what I mean. It's not like, oh my god, you look so cute. Like it's nothing like that. It's no fucking trying
And
to
if
pump your
a waitress
tires.
hits on me, that's when she's getting big money.
Like bullshit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's like but that person they are doing their job, so they deserve to be compensated for doing their job. Yeah, I think so. Because you could go to like because it kind of sucks in that regard with front facing staff versus kitchen staff. Because kitchen staff could be miserable pricks, but as long as they're like my steak is perfect, I got it to the chef on time, I did all this stuff. But then is the question, well, if you're gonna be a miserable prick, you should be in the kitchen and learn how to cook. You shouldn't
Be, sir.
You know what I mean? Because it's like it's two different skill sets.
Yeah.
And you need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the whole attitude thing is inherently part of the front-facing job. This is what I came up with on the spot. This is a chocolate.
I was hoping to come up with one of those.
Oh, well, you could do that too.
I'm so sorry for I wasn't even thinking about cheersing. I literally just
It's all good.
hammered it.
This is a chocolate caramel kiss.
It's quite nice actually. It's quite nice.
I'm gonna shoot.
Did
this
you
out of-
invent this
Yep.
just now?
Yep.
What was in it?
Salted caramel Kahlua, chocolate liqueur vodka.
See, this is what happens when a person. This worked.
Okay, I am.
All levels. This worked for me.
I'm gonna drink this I'm in protest. I'm drinking this
Okay.
in protest.
In protest.
I'm the most important person to me, so I wanted to come up with.
Well, you come up with one too. We don't. We need two more. Still.
I wanted to come up with all three.
Of course you did.
It's like I am very, very important to me, and this whole you coming up.
Remind me whose
You're
pi-
yeah,
whose,
man.
whose
I don't-
pizza party is
you-
this again?
You actually have a threshold. Like that was good. So like now you actually have like. This isn't just like a throw some bullshit together. Like you need to give this some thought because I think Andrew actually gave that some thought. At least it tastes like.
now it's become a competition
At least-
between Brad and I.
It seems like Andrew gave it thought.
What's
He might have lucked in.
I got inspired in the moment when you said, "We should come up with something." I was like, I got an idea.
See, like that to me is so in such stark contrast to those shots we did earlier, where it's like that tastes like a robot did it because a robot just like whatever, and that's like, oh yeah, this was portion,
There's some thought,
and
yeah.
there was,
I'm so.
Yeah, let's. Okay, do your thing now.
And you're in competition now, and you don't get to do it first, so that you can blame it on not going second. And
what
you
do you
and you
need?
had the shot, so you even get the benefit of trying his. You have everything going for you and nothing going against you right now. So if you fuck it up,
I'm so hurt that you
good.
didn't think of me first.
Good.
Because I always think of me first.
I didn't think about it.
Oh,
that
we
way.
know. We know.
We
We know.
didn't think about it that way. Oh yeah, Andrew, he's right.
Fuck, I didn't think of him
We
first.
should have thought of it.
I'm
Brad
so
does
sorry.
think about him first. Why don't we think about him first?
How dare you? How
What can I say? What can I
How
say?
dare you? Okay, I need. You want to see a fucking alcoholic make a drink? Okay, get me some spiced rum.
We don't have spice rum.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, we
fucking
do.
Take a piss
Sorry.
really fast. I'll be right back.
Okay, I need some spice. Da da da. Okay, and I need the Malibu. And I need the orange juice.
Need lime?
A little bit of lime. We're gonna call this a tahini sunrise.
Tahini?
Yeah,
Like tahini, the thing you put in hummus. Like
Yeah.
tahini paste.
yeah, tahini sunrise.
Why is this
Because you didn't think of me first, and now the mic is turning on you. Can you grab me the shot glass there, Andrew? Really appreciate it.
Yes, once I figure out this fucking mic situation. God damn it.
So, for those of you who've never had a tahini sunrise, you are in for a little treat. Because it is perfectly balanced. In
It's
every
Di Serono you just put in there, yeah?
Yep.
Sweet. I'm excited. And also, apparently, we're having some streamer juice in there as well.
Yes, it is a very crucial portion. We call this the tahini sunrise.
Tell me, what about it makes it a tahini sunrise?
Because
As opposed to
I
other-
was in Tahini when I came up with this.
Tahini. Where is Tahini? What is the Tahini region?
It is in South Ecuador.
South Ecuador.
It's an old,
Cheers.
based on an old Ecuadorian cocktail.
That's good champagne.
It's based on an old Ecuadorian cocktail.
Excuse me. How long have we been going?
That's right.
2 hours and 4 minutes.
Pretty good.
We're close to being done.
We're getting there.
How many more do we gotta do? 2.
This one and one more.
Okay.
Brad said it's called a Tahini sunrise.
I had a funny thing. Well, maybe not funny, but it is wild that a full bladder can make your tummy hard. Like the bladder is pressed up. It's like
That's so weird. My abs do that.
as some my 6-pack.
Look at how hairy your little belly is getting.
Your little belly.
It's been at this level.
It's
of
true.
hairy.
In
I'm
No,
like
it-
30.
it's getting
Like,
hairy.
This isn't like it's been at this. I've maintained this level of hair for like at least
Look at his hairy little
6
belly.
years now.
it's way hairier than mine.
But like, yeah,
Mine is a
you're
distinct
actually
lack
quite
of hair.
Smooth. in
I
terms of body
have
hair.
what I like to say. I have the very appropriate amount of hair that a human man should have.
Like, you don't think that you're like you have less hair?
I have. What I'm saying is, it's a higher
Your
state
legs
of
look like?
evolution. very fine hair. You
Show
wouldn't
me
be
your
able
hair.
to tell.
Show me your leg.
You wouldn't be able to tell their
Wait,
hair.
wait, you think this is the way that people should be?
I think that like,
You look like your legs are shaved.
but they're not.
No, I know they're not, but
he's
I'm saying like
Norwegian,
that's
Scottish.
But I'm not saying I might agree with you that you're a higher form of evolution.
Yes.
But like you're saying that this is what the average man ought to look like.
I'm saying no. I'm not ought to. It's more like this is the next stage of
I agree with
evolution.
your face. You got great face, but the legs are
Where
hairless.
where do
weird
we
that
we want hair? Legs? Do you care about your leg hair?
legs.
Balls.
Do you care about leg hair? Like why leg hair?
I do.
Feels manly.
Yeah, it's like I just grabbed my fucking cock and balls.
Like
like a
I
rock.
got nice. Like look at that. I got even hair in the back there.
I don't have that anymore, but when you get old and run around.
I have
hair-
I have
I
hair.
got
It's
hair in my
just
fucking
it's
chest.
just it's very blonde, so you can't really see.
Okay,
I wouldn't mind a little more hair in my chest.
This
to be
is a
honest.
Tahiti. Oh yeah, here Dad'll show you.
Hey, you got good hair.
I believe
You're too much. You guys are actually. It's crazy how we, in so many ways, we work as a triumvirate. Like you're on
With the
one
hair.
end of the spectrum. You're on the other end of the spectrum.
I have just the right amount of hair.
well,
Look at
you're
just the
like
right.
no,
Look
you're
at
the
how
hair.
gray
You're
mine's
the
got.
hairless one, except for your face, which is great. But like, and then you're the fucking hairy one, and I'm kind of in the middle.
Look at how gray it's getting.
But what's weird is I got hair everywhere. Nothing. I got a baby boy bitch Michael Cera face.
Okay, this is a Tahiti sunrise.
Tahini sunrise.
What's in here? This is your thing you made?
It tastes like a less sweet Malibu and orange juice. It's good.
That balances on so many notes. It touches different levels.
Yeah, I really got to take my own bias out of this one.
It's a good drink. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna pretend like it's
if
not
you
good.
give me, actually, this will be good because I need to know intention here. Andrew, with
Yeah.
your shot, can you give me like a 2-sentence description in what you, if you were to say this is the experience I would like you to have, or like this, that might be a little vague.
No,
Take from that what
I
you
get
will
you. I get you. Okay.
and pitch it to me.
It might be a little bit more than 2 cents. I'll keep it short. As short as I
No.
can.
You know, I'm saying I'm just general.
Yeah.
It was a general.
I was going for Christmas themed, Christmas based, but not what you traditionally think. So I was trying to go Christmas, but not peppermint, because we've already done a bunch of peppermint and
Well, not peppermint forward.
not peppermint forward. Yeah. Well, there
I
actually-
don't want to help you now
There,
because
there was no peppermint. There was no peppermint. I added. If anything, would have been adjacent.
something tasted like peppermint. Something tasted peppermint.
It was
Or
Kahlua, it was
Gingerbread.
salted caramel Kahlua and chocolate liqueur
yeah.
and plain vodka. That was my shot. Shaken over ice.
Wild.
So it would be residual peppermint flavor from other stuff, or
Maybe
like,
I just invented it in my brain while I was tasting it.
but I was going for Christmas themed, but not too on the nose. And because we just done all the cream liqueur based stuff, I was going for something cream based, so we didn't have to so it would go with what was in the shaker previously. So I wasn't trying to fight against the shaker.
You're getting
as
closer.
well.
You're getting closer, kind of like what I like. Can you give me like some flavor profiles you were trying to hit? And,
Yeah.
more experiential, like not spiritually
Gotcha.
experiential.
Gotcha.
Not like get out of the like Christmas.
No.
that, like,
So
raw experience of the actual.
So I was going for chocolatey flavor with a subtle note of the salted caramel and hints of coffee.
I think you did achieve that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking more for.
Yeah.
I'm looking more for like the.
I'm going for chocolate
you
forward.
knew what was in it,
Yeah.
and you knew what you wanted.
So chocolate forward, chocolate right off the hop. Then like the hint or a slightly less, but still prominent of salted caramel with just a hint of the coffee flavor.
I think that was you accurately portrayed that.
Thank you.
Bradford, can you do the same now?
With
And I actually wouldn't mind a little bit. Like I do like a little bit of spiritual, like
The ideological, yeah.
and but like top down kind of. Start with that, and then let's get to what you actually wanted me to whatever, or your audience. Sorry.
I want you to picture for a second
Beautiful color.
a child of Ecuador dancing in the failing.
He's already
You're gonna
won.
get. You're gonna.
He's
get,
already won.
He's gonna get way too macro on this.
May I?
Yeah,
I want you to picture for a second
because I can.
a child of Ecuador dancing in the failing sunlight on his family's home beach. his mother embracing him as his father comes home from a long day of picking plantains. I wanted to create a beverage that would help that child relieve the pressure of not seeing his father in the plantation all day. And that's why I bring you Tahini Sunrise. This cocktail is a blend of the combined subtle sweet spiciness of amaretto with a very small 1/4 ounce punch of Captain Morgan to bring a hint of the Caribbean into this dish, into this cocktail. Then a bit of the sweetness of a sweet Malibu to give us a finish that gives us a fun party night out. But wait, we're not done. A bit of that Florida orange juice to show the working class American how he can fit into this, with just a hint of fresh kissed lime to lighten the taste buds at the end. I bring you the Tahini Sunrise.
And can you just finish off with zero mention of spirituality like Andrew did? Can you just give me a quick, brief overlay of the flavor profiles you were hoping to accentuate and maybe not accentuate?
So I introduced a 1/4 ounce of Captain Morgan's because it is a bit of it's a higher APV alcohol, but it does have a nice spiciness to it. Di Serono obviously pairs beautifully with orange juice, but Captain Morgan's generally doesn't, so that's why I put a small volume of Captain Morgan's in, and I put a 1/2 ounce of Di Serono in. It's a little bit of sweetness to cut the citrus from the orange juice, but then when I added my Malibu in, I knew that it had a bit of that coconut flavor. I wanted a little bit more of a tropical touch, but again, Malibu adds too much sweetness, so now we've gone sweet, cut the sweetness, too sweet again, which is why I hit just a hint of lime at the end, because that citrus blast, again, cutting through the combination of the two. Orange juice isn't a citrus concentrate, but lime juice is. So that lime juice concentrate, I'm cutting that sweetness down one more time and creating an experience that I think any plantain father can love.
Couldn't help yourself.
It's well crafted.
If you
I love the first one. I loved Andrew's as well. I just want to say that.
If you
No, I'm a
I
shit.
just-
Yours
okay,
is really good.
one more question for both of you. Andrew, if you had to say, if you were to say, you had to say like this drink is not for this person.
That's a good question. So it's not who it's not for.
Like
Yeah. This drink is not for people who. This drink is not for those who want to. I'm double negativing, and this is so confusing.
I also think you might be getting too.
So this drink, I'll start with who it's for, and then that'll tell us who it's not
The more
for.
accurate you are with your statement,
Yeah.
the higher I'm gonna.
Sure,
rate that.
sure. So this is for someone who is either sitting around
This is who it's
fireplace.
for.
This is who it's for.
Okay.
It's for someone sitting around the fireplace, enjoying the warmth of kith and kin in a very family and Christmas, and it's Christmas time, and we're together, and this is the what you're going to either shoot or sip on to enjoy, to accentuate that feeling of warmth, or rekindle and remember the past of that you may not be experiencing now. Who it's not for are it's not for misers, curmudgeons, Scrooges, or the like who don't care about such experiences.
Appreciate the wordplay. Wait, it's not for those people.
No. If you don't if you don't want to remember, like if you're currently a Scrooge,
Okay.
but you want to relive that,
I got
maybe. But if you're like a bah humbug through and through, I don't care about that.
gotcha.
Not for you.
I gotcha. Okay, Bradford, can you take that? What I said. This is not for whoever. And if you'd like to start it with who it's for and who it's not for, as Andrew did, please go on.
If I tried to describe who my drink was for, we would go well into the night. Well, I can tell you who it's not for. My drink is not for a Pennsylvania iron worker. My drink is not for a man who lives in the Appalachians and draws milk from the land. My drink is not.
I actually
for...
think you
My drink is not for the Idaho.
I think you happenstance upon an accurate statement there.
My drink is not for the Idaho potato farmer. My drink is not for the everyman.
And now you seem to be making a theme, so now I think you're more intentional.
My drink is for the adventurer. My drink is for somebody who lusts for the holiday they can't afford. My drink is not for the man who stays home and refuses to leave.
Wow. That sounded like a Grey Goose vodka commercial.
Okay. I'm fairly confident in my surmising. I'm going to let you both decide if you'd like to hear or if it's better left unsaid and we just keep an air of neutrality.
I like the air of neutrality.
Yeah?
I'm cool either way. I mean, I'm curious. Without giving winner or loser, give us your thoughts on each drink and each shot and its subsequent.
I'll say the reasons that I asked as many questions as I did, because I'll say this with Bradford. I think that, Andrew, your drink was more universal, but that has nothing to do with the overall but that's not a statement on the overall quality. I think obviously if you're going to go chocolate forward, like it's inevitable. It's going to be a little more universal. But I'll say that it's like I would not struggle to give your drink to like almost anyone. When I asked you about who it was not for, like I was like with yours it's a little more of a struggle to think of that answer.
I was going a little bit more ideological with it, less.
Whereas and that I would take those points against both of you. It's hard with Bradford because he followed you, so I don't know how much he was influenced by what you said that he felt he needed to say to him. I more wanted the thing I wanted Brad to say that he absolutely did not say, and he had no intention of saying, was Brad's did have a taste of coconut. So it was like it's just not for somebody who if you don't like coconut, which is a large portion of the population, you're just not gonna love that drink. And I would say like even with you, Andrew, it's like if somebody is like not like a little averse to, I would have liked you to have said like richness of chocolate, like sweetness, like if you're somebody
you were going for more. What is the practical? Who in terms of the flavor would not like this?
I tried to hint at it by saying like the more accurate you can be, like because like a flavor profile to me is more of a scientific.
You saying that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I tried to hint. I didn't want to be overt about it because I did want to leave it up to your interpretations.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I kind of go any more, I'll give away sort of what I think the winner of the exercise was. But I'll say this: I think both were equally thought through. I don't think either one was half-assed. I think both were, and it was interesting because both had almost equal parts. Like you had almost as many parts. I think you might have had one additional ingredient. You had 3, right?
I had 3. He was 4.
Did you have 4? Yeah.
No, you had Di Serono, Captain Morgan, 5.
No, Di Serono, Captain Morgan's Malibu. Lime juice, orange, I guess, is the mixer.
Yeah, lime juice.
The amount of ingredients also has nothing to do with the...
No, of course.
Unless you had 1. If you had 1, that would be a loss.
One would make it.
But if you were able to combine 2 in a novel way, I would have been equally as impressed.
So,
even
more for our final shot, I have a proposition. I say we... Rather than one or the other of us.
Just for a second.
Yep.
Just in case everyone's wondering, because I'm sure everyone out there is right. Tahini Kiss is just going to be a 1/4 ounce of Captain Morgan's, a 1/2 ounce of Di Serono. That's going to be a 1/2 ounce of Malibu, 3.5 ounces of orange juice, and just a good squirt of lime. Anyway, sorry.
And can you actually go over your
Yeah, sure. So mine is a lot
These
more.
are the first official pre-store productions.
Shots.
I actually won't take credit for this. Andrew and Bradford
pre-store productions.
Branded shots.
So mine would be a lot more simple, going for something that's for maybe someone who's not super confident in their abilities necessarily to make a cocktail or a shot. So mine would be 1 part, so 1 ounce, 1/2 ounce, depending on how many you're making. 1 part or 1 ounce chocolate liqueur, 1 part or 1 ounce, or sorry, 1/2 part or 1/2 ounce of salted caramel Kahlua, and 1 part or 1 ounce of vodka. And if you wanted to make it as a shot, shake it over ice. If you wanted to make it as more of a cocktail, I would add in 1.5 parts of milk or dairy-based drink of your choice.
I appreciated the comedy you brought to the challenge.
That was all from the heart. That
You
was
made an effort and
was
you
no
brought
com-
laughs. I appreciated your.
that was no comedy. That was all here.
Well, no. I didn't appreciate your flippant disregard for trying to take the challenge seriously. No, that's inaccurate. You actually took the challenge very seriously. Your drink itself was a very. It's like you went halfway, but then you descended into some stuff. But and then as opposed to the thing is, there was a juxtaposition. You both.
The plantain workers, I will stand.
I
by
appreciated the effort in
We will never
taking the
forget
challenge
you.
seriously beginning to end
We
on
will
Andrew's
never
side.
forget you and your troubles.
So I appreciate those.
We will never.
So we got- what was the last thing that we got?
So for a last thing, my proposition would be, Francois, you pick.
Don't make me.
No. You pick the first. You pick an ingredient, the first thing,
Okay.
and then Brad and I will go back and forth and try. And we, between the two of us, one at a time,
We'll make
try
it
to
fun.
make something palatable
Okay,
out of
I
your
got to
base.
run upstairs really quick and get
Yeah,
something.
sure.
But I just had a little bit of inspiration. That's a little more personal to me. Okay,
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Take your
I
time.
know that the teacher's whiskey is there, so that means it's not involving teacher's whiskey, which is a great starting point.
You want to pass me? I have another piece of pizza. I'm fucking drunk. I'm so fucking meat, man. Are you kidding me?
I just want to say, while Francois is off cam, Ecuador, all the plantain workers out there, we support you, and I don't care what Guzman's doing to you guys. Okay, he's
No, I'd like to say, if you go out with us,
if you've had teacher's whiskey,
if you go out with us, I've gotten to a stage in my life where I'm like a little less experimental with my drink selection. I know I'm a guy who likes a pint of beer. I enjoy it with most food pairings. So anyways, the reason that I went upstairs was I thought I'd get 3 pint glasses because we've been doing shit out of shot glasses and flutes. So to give it a little bit more of my spin, I thought I'd bring pint glasses. And then I think all I will do is do we have champagne left?
Yep.
I'm just going to fill each one a third with champagne.
So
And
that's our base.
that's your base. And my only requirement is that you have to add at least 2 ingredients. It can't be like a single, you can't just add orange juice. That's kind
No,
of
we're going to go back and forth twice. So we each add 2.
you say when?
Yeah, roughly a third. Just roughly a third. Yeah, you're not tipping, so it's very, but yeah, sure. Go with that. That's good.
Brad, do you have preference? Who goes first?
Please, Andrew, be my guest.
Well,
Champagne
I would
is
prefer you.
also-
I would prefer for you to go
Champagne
first.
is a difficult thing to pair.
I don't want to go first only because going first signifies we don't do first in Ecuador. Everyone's in the same.
Okay, here we go. I'll say this. So either it has to be one ingredient, or it has to be 2 ingredients, 2 ingredients.
It's 2 and 2.
2 and 2. Oh,
Okay.
I like that better.
Here's another thing that I've just found out. This is a little bit off topic. Actually, not off topic. There are a lot of people now that are saying if you are buying beer from a can because of all the preservatives and shit, you should not be pouring it down on the side of the glass. You should be dumping it in because
Yeah.
there's so much fucking carbonation in them now. They're making you fuck. That's why you get all bloated. And they're dumping them in to vent some of that carbonation off is not a bad thing.
I mean, could you equally just crack it and then leave it for a bit?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, if you
Either
want to
way,
drink a
you
beer
want to
right
vent
now,
you want to vent the carbonation.
I think
off.
I'd prefer that.
Okay.
Just because I do enjoy a nice pour. I hate
So I'm going first.
foamy pours.
Hamstring Brad. I'm going to add blackberry raspberry gin first.
How much?
I think we'll go with, because it's between 3. I'm going to go with an ounce.
This is actually bad because it's like this is a base it's not water or like something super basic or like a soda or a 7-Up, but it's still not like champagne's not crazy harsh either.
No, in terms of flavor, it's a pretty mild flavor.
But it is a flavor. It's not nothing to contend with.
So back to you.
I'd like to see a half an ounce of grenadine.
That's smart. That's a smart ad.
Boil and boil, cauldron skeleton bubble. Katie's got 50 skeletons in her house.
Okay, half an ounce of grenadine.
You do. And we know about it. And you're gonna go to jail.
Just put orange juice in it. So
This is all an elaborate
Yeah, I was
ruse
gonna do orange juice.
to make you waste your time until the officers can get to the building and they can haul you off
Well,
to
you're gonna add
fucking
orange juice
prison.
at the end. I should add something else to.
well, if
And I'll have you know, the women's
gonna have
prisons in
orange
this
juice, right?
province are
Yeah,
no
they won't
fucking
know,
joke. They're serious shit. They're worse than the men's prisons. Oh yeah, so you know what kind of shit goes on.
This is a bold choice. I'm gonna do half an ounce of.
I would rather go to
No?
prison in fucking Manhattan than go and be in that jail.
I don't
I would.
think there's a prison. I'm almost certain there's no prison in Manhattan.
Or whatever, jail. I'm using it.
State of
using
New
the
York.
terms,
And then maybe do 2 ounces of that.
That's your edition.
what? No, there's got to be. Isn't there a famous prison in Manhattan?
I would think
Isn't that where the-
Manhattan real
the-
estate would be so expensive. Would be
Isn't
so
that where the Nixium guy went? Was that jail and wasn't it?
maybe a jail. I don't know if there's a prison in Manhattan.
I mean, I am using the term like,
Interchangeably?
interchangeably right now. But just saying, I thought there was.
What? No.
Which one's flashing around?
You want one more ounce.
Okay, there, Katie. There's a battery on the table there. Should be. I grabbed one on the desk. Yeah.
Just
So
swap
just-
that one out.
So there's a gold clip on the front of that
Manhattan
battery.
Detention Complex.
You just got to push it in and slide the battery forward.
And it's
towards
right in the
us.
middle of the fucking bastard.
Yeah,
The-
you see that
they
gold?
call it
So you
the
push that in, yeah.
tombs. The Wikipedia page actually says
The tombs of Manhattan.
it uses the colloquial slang term instead of the actual term. The Tombs is the colloquial name for the Manhattan Detention Complex, a municipal jail at 125 White Street in Lower Manhattan, New York City. It's also nicknamed for three
You might have to-
previous
yeah,
city-run
go
jails.
one more back. Yeah, like that.
And it
There
is,
you go.
it's in the thick of it, baby. It is like far south, like, and not like on like oceanfront property.
It is wild that they
It's
would.
right next to Chinatown, Little Italy.
Oh yeah,
Soho,
put it
and
right in the dump.
Civic
and,
Center.
like,
I'm actually very curious as to how
wild.
this is.
Yeah, I think that's where they interred the Nixium guy for like the year that they were doing his trial.
that blows me away that they have a prison,
Well, jail.
a jail.
Yeah.
Like you're not serving long periods of time.
No,
there.
no, no. Yeah, I don't. That would be so unsafe because they would need fences and stuff. Because they can't legally,
Make sure Fran gets a good amount here.
like, once you've been sentenced, you can't legally be kept just in a building. Like, they have to let you outside legally, I think, right?
Yeah, probably unless you're in a supermax.
Okay.
This is a wild color. This looks more like grapefruit juice than grapefruit juice looks like grapefruit.
That's actually very true. This is the most grapefruit.
What are
juice
we
color.
calling this, Brad? What do we call this?
This is called the 12 Podcasts of Christmas.
Oh. Can you guys go over the ingredients again for us?
So what we did was we took 2 alcoholics and we made them pick 2 random ingredients each.
It wasn't random. I was very intentional with mine, but
Oh, you shot in the dark.
no. He was responding to me because we started with blackberry raspberry gin.
Uh-huh.
Then Brad added grenadine, which I thought was a great addition. Then I added a shot of Malibu or a half ounce of Malibu, and you finished it off with OJ. So it's kind of a mimosa-y, I would say. It's very like a souped up raspberry.
It's
mimosa.
like the kind of last drink you have before you're totally fucked up.
What
and you need to
what
go
do
to
they
bed.
say when something is it's an elevated mimosa?
Yeah, I think
elevated.
it's
It's an elevated and
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
It is an elevated mimosa to the 12 Podcasts.
the
of
12th
Christmas.
drink.
And the 12 podcasts of Christmas.
I don't hate that.
Oh, I don't hate that at all.
It needs one more thing.
No.
The thing is, it's fine. Man, I think it's just missing an element.
Maybe some.
Some sweetness, honestly. That's what I think it's missing.
Maybe
I don't know if maybe even just like a little more orange juice. Maybe
Yeah,
is what it needs,
I'm
or,
gonna.
like-
I'm gonna say let's add
But
a little.
man,
I'm
but
liking mine the way it is.
I almost want to say. I don't want to go fucking crazy.
But it's a perfect drink, yeah.
It's not bad. That's the thing. That's the most important thing. Is it's fine, and it does taste like an elevated mimosa currently.
I would add a little more OJ, Fran, and just see how it tastes.
But I don't. The thing is with the OJ is like OJ is we're adding more acidity. We're adding that
We're
but acidity
We're
is
also
not the
limited.
problem.
We're limited with our choices here.
I
as
know,
well.
I know. But that's the thing. I sorry,
You
my
could
brain is
put a
now
little
my brain is now
chocolate liqueur
extending
in.
to other
Realms.
realms, and I'm wondering. In my brain right now is going to like if there was a splash of 7-Up or apple
I
juice,
see what you're saying,
apple
yeah.
juice, like a little more sugary.
You
sweetness.
could try one of the.
Oh no, that's it, Fran.
just more orange juice.
A little bit more orange juice. It helps a lot.
Because
Because the thing is, like, right, I don't not like this. It just tastes a little neutral. To me.
Mine,
That's the
a
only
little
thing.
mine
splash will
personally
help.
can't be helped.
Huh?
A little splash
Mine
would
can't
help.
be helped.
That's good. Yeah, just a little splash. It really just ties everything together, I would say. I agree. Like if we had 7-Up, that would be like all optimal, like an ounce of that. But
Yeah, it gives that little bit of sweetness.
It's
it
all-
literally just needed like
Yeah.
a bit of sweetness. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I think. And now it's like now I'm having this at breakfast. Fucking
Lunch.
Brunch.
somebody offers me a mimosa and I say, "Are you high?
Well,
Are you from
yeah.
the year 1993?"
how nice in fucking Quebec when we went to that wedding. We're in Montreal for that day.
Bottomless mimosa.
Bottomless mimosas at a restaurant. I've never heard of that. Holy fuck, was
Only
that
from
awesome?
Bert Kreischer.
I think there's a chain in the city that does that.
Yeah, I think there is actually.
Where? We need to
Rock
go. I
Creek
don't care.
used to do it. But
It
they don't
was
exist anymore.
because what was it? How much? It was like $30 each for 2 hours of as much as you could drink,
yeah,
as much as fast.
The,
as
the initial price isn't like cheap, but it's a good, especially if you're gonna.
we
have
drank.
it, right?
We drank 3.5 bottles of champagne,
So then
In
we got to
an
do
hour and a
mango
half?
juice too, which is good.
and yeah, we got to know peach juice, Bellinis. Yeah, we drank them out of peach juice.
Bellini.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck it to the other ingredients. I actually just think that little, just a whatever. What was that even like? Maybe a shot of orange juice more.
Probably an
Another
ounce.
half
yeah.
an ounce.
1.3579 ounces from what I can.
Because I think the issue is that it is a mimosa. It is a drink that owes a lot to the mimosa because of the champagne, and therefore it can't turn its back on its
roots.
genesis.
Yeah. Bradford, what is the monetary value right now to do a Bean Boozled round? If how much would you have to get paid to do another round of Bean Boozled?
$500.
Like you would have to. Like that's like the basement.
Yeah.
So anything less than 500, fuck you.
Yeah, even though it's a 50-50 shot to eat something delicious, not a fucking chance.
It might not even be 50-50.
It's actually probably better now. The odds are better because
Was
I
it
mean,
how okay?
Off the bat, they might have just had more good ones than bad ones.
How psychotic was it?
that Alex
Love
sat here and did it.
that Alex just sat here and ate several of them on totally, as Tate would say, totally unprompted.
It's almost like he's the
Fuck,
type of-
that guy
He's
can
almost
roll.
like the type of guy that would take cold showers to eliminate an erection. Almost.
You would almost say that. I'm not high fiving.
Wouldn't go that
Nothing to do with Tate. I said it as a joke, and I can tell you're a little serious about it.
Yeah, boys.
You've seen his brother?
How many fucking
Tristan Tate.
You should look at his brother.
Oh, I love Tristan.
Yeah, he's great.
I love Tristan.
He's great. We're big Tate guys.
No, we can't even say that unironically. No.
Let's go to fucking Romania and fuck shit up.
Nah, bro.
I'm gonna go to Bulgaria.
They have less stringent laws there.
I think that's it.
Closing thoughts. It's 10 years. We have to wrap this up with something other than we're too drunk and we're done. Like what's our close? What's our wrap?
I'll say this. Big thank you to Swade Niedermeyer. A huge thank you to Dallas Kirkpatrick. Honestly-
Notably, a bigger thank you to Dallas than Swade. Notably.
A bigger thank you to Dallas, even if slight. I'll even say a big thank you to Mackenzie Cater. A big thank you to Jane. A big thank you to Maddie.
Evan.
A big thank you to Evan. A big thank you to anybody.
Oh, Lucas Robinson reached out and said he's been watching all the episodes.
Thank you to Aaron Brown
Big thank you to
also,
Lucas
because
Roy-
he
yeah, big thank you to
Aaron
Aaron
totally
Brown.
unprompted messaged me and was like, I love your 12
I
podcast.
think if we're gonna extend this ending a little bit, it actually should be in the service of thanking
Yeah.
people who, like a lot of people have supported Pre-Store Productions different ways, but people who have supported the podcast, that's quite far between. I'll say thank you to Amy, Kelsey for appearing on the podcast. Katie so much for. Did you ever appear on the podcast? But you did
she's
switch. You
switching,
switched two of
yeah.
them. Thank you so much for switching. Thank you to Alex Mraz for switching a whole bunch of them, and thank you for appearing.
I actually got someone specifically just while we're thanking. My mom has been watching faithfully along this year. And she said, I don't know how I missed them and whatever. But she said, you guys owe a lot to Alex and his switching because the comedy he was able to add to episodes and like the shots that he was able to switch to and catch in some of those episodes, she was like, just like chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. That makes
So,
a difference for sure.
Thank you to Alex. Also, huge shout out to Mark and Joel, Funky Moose Records.
Big ones.
Joel, in particular, has said that he and his wife have been, Janelle, also thank you to Janelle. They've been watching along and they've loved all the episodes. They're laughing and really enjoying things. So thank you guys so much for not just watching, but actually like taking the time to let us know.
Yeah,
Like,
Joel, can you please change the profile picture of your YouTube channel from your son to you? Because every time I see you leave a comment,
no, it's Kemper. It is Kemper's channel.
Oh, it's called Kemper's dad.
Oh, is it? It's
The
Kemper bought.
Called Kemper's dad, unless he called his son's
No.
Kemper's
no.
dad, and now I'm very confused.
Okay, so also thank you to all the.
But if it's you, sorry, if it's Kemper, whatever. If it's you, please change the profile picture to you, so that I don't think a kid's commenting. Because every time I see those innocent little eyes, I'm like, you should not be watching this.
This is not for you.
And then I want to comment. Please don't watch anymore.
Yeah, thank you to all of our guests that we've had over the years. Some awesome ones. We had some great ones this year. Thank you again. Double thank you to all the Prehistoric Wives for putting up with all of our shit for over a decade now. That's not easy.
It's a long time.
I mean, I have just done such a great job over the last 10 years
Fact.
entertaining not only you guys, but these guys as well.
Fact.
True.
It has been, in my own recollection, an absolute treat to go back and watch myself. I'll often put on an older episode of the podcast.
Do you
Please,
prefer?
may I have the floor? I'll put on an old episode of the podcast. I will skip around when other people are talking and just watch me have a conversation that's not necessarily cogent because I'm replying to other people, but it's of the same topic and with that same great delivery that I come to expect every time.
Witty retort.
I was gonna say, do you prefer? Which do you prefer more? The sight of yourself on camera or the sound of your own voice?
Almost an unanswerable question.
I think it does. No, well,
But I definitely, are you saying cut the video feed and listen, or
Yes.
keep the-
Which do you prefer more?
I think this is an easy answer to me.
No,
yeah, sound of your own voice has to be the answer.
hold on, you'd say so, but I'm so in love with my own appearance, especially with the groomed beard and stuff, and the
Yeah, the one doesn't negate the other. I'm just saying the one is. I would say to you.
I don't honestly love
Far.
the actual pitch
I've
and tone.
watched you sit while I'm watching an episode. You can't see yourself. I almost think it's better when you can picture yourself in an idealized way,
Version.
and then you can be like, "Oh my god!"
The problem is
not only am I 8'6", jacked, and I have belts around my arms like Agumon in an evolved form, but I'm also the funniest person who's ever lived.
But here's the problem, and I think that a lot of people run into this issue. I don't love the pitch and tone of my own voice. Most people don't like the sound of their own voice.
Oh, yeah, almost everybody. If you
But,
do, you're
but the
there's something
cadence,
not
delivery, and subject matter that comes from my mouth.
Well, because your own voice is when you hear it, it's filtered
filtered.
through your own.
It's dissonance.
It's
You-
dissonant.
So you don't like.
So you're immediately
Well,
because
you're
yeah.
hearing. You're literally hearing.
I'm gonna
your
do a
own reverberations.
I'm going to do a slight shift
Yeah.
from thank yous to
I'm great.
you're welcome.
You're welcome. I see. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's people we're forgetting, but like,
No, definitely.
oh, the
tried
Radiant,
to include-
Michaela and the Radiant, and like Michaela specifically for coming on the podcast 2 times in a row. Like one of my favorite conversations we've had.
Our
Thomas,
most frequent guest.
I loved like Thomas.
Wade, you got to give him credit because he has the most viewed podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Swade.
I did thank Swade earlier, but we'll thank him again.
A big thank you to. I'm terribly sorry. I'm forgetting his last name, but John, the Sandwich Dad.
Ostrander.
Ostrander,
yeah.
for taking the time and like he had no idea. I mean, I'm sure he maybe checked us out to see we were legit. But, like he didn't know us.
He saw us
But we're
talking
not
in an old
legit.
tin
The
can.
thing is, we're not legit.
As far as the podcast is concerned, we're not legit. Yeah.
So like,
So
him-
take-
I mean, like we had shaped up the last like the 2 years previous to this. But if you went back before that, it'd be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. He him taking the chance and just like ended up being
And Chance
crazy.
Gonzalez.
Chance
And
Gonzalez,
Chance, yeah.
we love you, and
We
we,
love-
can't wait
We
to
love
do
you
your show
almost
next
as
year.
if you were one of our sons, because you may be.
Almost.
Almost as if.
It's like who is his in Michael or sorry whatever Bluth's brother when he talks to Buster. It's like he's like you're my dad.
It's yeah.
almost like that.
The blonde hair.
Yeah,
It's the brother Oscar.
twin brother. Yeah, Oscar.
Almost.
Yeah,
Almost like
it's almost like we're father and son, and then it's all.
There's a loose seal.
Yeah, fuck, that show was way ahead of
I tried to. I'm fairly certain I accomplished it, but there might have been errors in the intro. If you were a guest on the show, you should be in the intro. It's very quick, so you might have to like freeze frame. But I tried to get every single
If
guest
you ever
who
appeared,
had
yeah.
in the introduction.
You even got Boston Man, which kudos.
I did. That was a guest. I also.
Where is that fucking guy anyway?
It was very difficult because I knew you two. I knew you two would want the reference to the infamous. I got so fucking hammered episode. But the problem was like there. It's not when you look at it. It's actually not that memorable.
Yeah.
Until the end when you're not there in the third part of it.
But
there's
but the
no
thing is, it
video
cuts
feed.
out. There's no video feed. It cuts out before
that's
that.
right.
Just audio.
So and the thing is, like even when you guys are in the car, it just looks like a car podcast that I'm not in. But I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna include a good little section.
I
because
appreciate-
I know they will see it. And
I
they
knew
will-
right away
they
where it
know
was
the
from,
meme.
and I appreciate
Yeah.
it. I would also like to note as a personal thank you, and like I'm really surprised he hasn't thanked us, that nowhere in these shots was Dr. Mr. Cuddles included. We didn't nowhere in this, and since you had to drink it, there has been no inclusion of peach schnapps in anything. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
This is like a guy saying
In
to
terms
a
of drinking
to-
it, I'm saying.
This is like a guy saying to a survivor of the Holocaust. I purposely didn't have a.
Where did the doctor?
I purposely didn't install a furnace in my house. Are you thankful?
Well, he should.
No,
be.
I
He should
didn't
be.
really even think about it. And
And-
that's fucked up.
As our final sign off for this year,
Brad always trying to wrap things up.
I would like to thank. Over all the years, nobody has supported us better.
That's good. Yeah.
Monetarily, maybe we don't know. Maybe,
Emotionally,
perhapsly.
financially, than
Spiritually.
Highwood Distillers, sweet sipping Canadian maple whiskey.
As good.
Better at Christmas
Than it is at Thanksgiving.
than it is at Thanksgiving. Alberta. Where are they from? Alberta?
High River, Alberta.
High River, Alberta, representing. They know that
10 years.
they know that about 50 people in Saskatchewan watch this podcast. So
We did it, guys.
How many shots did we do? Sorry, in total.
12.
20 drinks.
We-
They were 12 done.
12, yeah, plus extras.
We'll see you next year for 11, where there'll be
Much less fanfare and
something a little different.
pretty anticlimactic.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
We did it.